Hello, hello, mic test. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat. Hello. Yes. Oh, what's good, everyone? All right, let's get this setup going. Let's check out the interview overlay. I'm gonna be doing some live testing. Okay, so yeah, I think this is good. Tensa will not have a cam, so he will not be on screen. Maybe we could Photoshop something onto here right now. Let's take a look. Wow, this interview overlay is sick.
No, so I had Irwin make the graphic,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had Gizmo make the animation.
Oh shit! Nice.
Dude, I am the fucking coordinator, content fucking coordinator.
Shout outs to my content team.
Let's go.
Gizmo, Yulon, Erwin, and Sakumai.
Let's go.
Tensa and Ghost Mode.
Yeah, Tensa's ghosting you right now.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you call him, make sure he's like the big face cam, and then it's set preview. It's set for that.
Make sure whenever I do what?
When you call him, it's set to like where his thing is the big one.
Wait, I have a separate interview screen? What do you mean his is the big one?
Like when you call him in Discord, his camera should be the big one. Because you can make them the same size like this in Discord, and then you can also make your camera small and then his camera big.
Oh, he's not gonna have a camera.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
but this is still good though. We're gonna do some impromptu.
Are you gonna put a picture?
Yeah.
Oh, then why did I set up that?
No, that's fine. We could use this for future stuff too. All right, so okay, let's find a picture for Tensa. Where else am I live? I'm live on YouTube, Trovo, and Twitch right now. Speaking about Twitch, yeah, okay, yeah. I got Twitch people in here. Ghost Gaming. Should we just put a Ghost Gaming logo? Or should we use like Tensa's profile picture on Twitter? You're gonna watch from Trovo? Okay. Yo, what's up, HH? HH, I'll get an interview with you next time when you stop dying first on the team. Joking. HH, you had your spotlight already in China, bro. What's up, Afro Abe? Liquipedia? Oh yeah, Liquipedia has his picture. Liquipedia. You munchin'? Oh, yeah. I have not ate yet. So I'm eating right now. Is this us? Right here? I think so. No? This is not us. PMPL. NA. PUBG Mobile Spring. No, this is PMCO. This is PC. Oh, thanks for the follow. Bald Eagle. Just waiting till finals. Yeah, HH always pops off like when it really matters.
Wait, let me fix your face cam. Please, please, please.
Lots of love from Nepal. Thank you. Just look up PMPL. PMPL 2021. If someone could link me, oh, is this it? No. Is this it? Yeah. If someone can link me the Liquipedia page, I have it somewhere. Have I been watching PMPL South Asia? No, I have not. I've been too busy with everything. HH Drive By last week was sick though. Just search up Tensa. You were watching sick highlights, POV and PMGC? Yes, he did M24 me out of a moving US. To be fair though, I was driving in a straight line. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Hazard. Here we go. Alright, Ghost Gaming. Oh, no picture here. I just have to take the picture from, like, the stream. Because I saw Tensa's picture on stream. He sent me one in Discord? Oh, okay. Alright, let's take a look at... So we got 20 minutes, by the way, until the interview starts. Paraboy's birthday is 5 days ago. Wikipedia has the tempo picture. Oh, am I gonna look up Tempo Storm here for the picture? Oh, okay. Alright, this works. Perfect. Alright, this is gonna be a little bit shoddy. We're gonna do some on the broadcast live editing. This is gonna be interesting. Alright, Ghost Gaming. Save image as. Downloads. I'll just put it to the desktop so I can delete it later. Photoshop. You like the tempo one better? I personally like I like Ghost. I like the Ghost Gaming logo better. I haven't streamed in a while, so some of my notifications are missing. So let me know if you guys are like donating anything potentially. I'm hearing like a little ringing sound in my ear, so I have a notification going off somewhere. But yeah, there it is again. I'm not sure which notification that is. You didn't get a Trovo notification? Oh, I need to send that one out. There's so much stuff I need to do real quick right now. But let's do this first. Okay. I've never used Adobe Photoshop before. So let's do new. Oh, these are mana casts. Oh, that's what this sound is. Okay, right. Okay. edit, file, add, right? Open, generate, export. Import? No. Sorry if you guys actually know how to use Adobe Photoshop. You know what I could do? I could just Microsoft Paint this real quick. Paint. Here we go. No, wait. How's this gonna work? Thank you for all the mana. Look at Discord, Zute. Oh. Alright, sure. That works. We'll go with this one. Thanks, Tensa. Time to save Tensa's image. Onto my computer. The chat? Oh my gosh. Chat is going crazy right now for your picture. Tensa OP. Okay. Oh, what? How did... Oh, Saku has it set up so that... Oh, she has the Discord camp. Oh, I see what Saku did. Okay. Oh, that's cool. I get what she means now. All right. But we will not be needing that. And we're adding an image. Tensa. Browse, find the image. Okay. Okay, I think Saku's like, this is so cringe. I gotta go save Zoo. I was gonna do that. Did you send out the Trovo notification? Oh, okay. Opinions on level X? They have potential. They just need a... They could do better. I believe in the level X. I believe in all the teams, to be honest. I feel like a lot of the teams that aren't doing well right now, it's just, you know, they're nervous. Zute be that guy who doesn't know about technology. Yeah, I'm kind of...
I don't really know about technology.
I just play video games.
Unlock it.
Saku had enough. Opinion on Passion Fruit? Passion Fruit's owning. Well, they're not owning, but they're doing really well. Okay, cool. All right, so this is set up. So while we wait a little bit, let's grab some highlights real quick. Chat, send me if you want, send me highlights of Tensa so far in PMPL. If you have anything you want me to talk about with him, I definitely have a few things in mind that I want to go over for some plays. Here we go. Let's open these three up. Honestly, the best play, though, was day number 2 for Ghost Gaming in the regular week. Yo, what's up, Xenox? Xenox is here. 1v3 in EFC. It was in scrims, though. Bro, watch how 19E dies in the last game yesterday. Xenox got bodied by Tensa. Oh, Tensa bodies. I don't think I've seen Tensa, at least on camera, lose a 1v1 yet.
Fall to 5th from 2nd earlier in the day.
So they might just be able to do it. It's going to be really close.
Oh, it's not this one. Here we go. Oh, it wasn't game number 5.
But the day after it will qualify
4.
for another.
This full send, clear this side, die. I don't.
Oh no, maybe it was the first day. Was it this one? Game 2?
Sports Circle, 19 Esports, Lazarus, the unnamed.
Oh, I'm still on Super Weekend. Okay, I got the tabs up and up wrong. Here we go.
I think there's only.
North America Week 1, Day 2. Maybe it was day...
All the way
no,
far
it's this
out,
one.
right? Kills. As now we're looking towards this game.
Yeah,
They have been paying for it in blood. 3 players down to try and full reset. As we're taking a look. Oh my goodness. Everything in, and it's good.
Okay. I'm gonna save this one here. Oh shit. I think my mom just tipped me $20. I think my mom just tipped me $20 on YouTube. Thank you, Mom. YouTube takes a really big percentage of that donation, though. Thank you, though, Mom, for watching. Shoutouts to my parents. Yeah, Jing Huang, that's my mom. Shoutouts to my parents. They've been so supportive since I started like traveling and doing casting and all of that. So thank you, Mom. That's embarrassing. I don't know what to say. Okay. Oh, Light just sent me a picture of Tensa back. Oh, dude, let's have a quick throwback to oh, what was this team? Okay, don't tell me chat. I don't have chat up. This was back in the days of... Oh, why is his name slipping my mind? I'm not looking at chat. Okay, I'm gonna look at chat. This was Team Totality, yes, with HH. With HH, there's HH, Tensa, Enigma, and Proplex, right? TT. The TT days. Team Totality. All right. All right. By the way, guys, if you remember any other like big Tensa highlights that you want to have us play on stream before the interview starts like in 10 minutes. You can DM me on Twitter. You can DM me on Discord. Yeah. Was Slicky in Team Totality? No, Slicky wasn't ever in Team Totality.
Is unmatched right now.
Okay, so we know Super Weekend Day 1, Ghost Gaming just absolutely choked. They just kept dying. And Lazarus got gifted this game right here.
Get rewarded with those 4 kills.
I'm just gonna jump through each game at a time, kind of jog my memory. This one, Xset fucking clutched out. Xset also killed Ghost Gaming here when they were trying to rotate in. Game 3.
Side, but up in
19E.
look how
Ghost and squad being forced to win.
they could. Another
Oh, I remember this ending. Ghost got high placement here, but they were in a tough position. They couldn't really do much. It was just Tensa.
Use their advantage.
Tensa
and
last
press
up.
out, get a little.
E was pretty much devastating. They really need to press this fight.
The first 2 days of Super Weekend, Sandhawk same zone? Yeah, it was pretty much almost the same zone. 19E basically switched positions with Passion Fruits here. 19E took that compound on the second day. Watch the highlight from yesterday on how J7 survived in Sandhawk real quick. You could DM me on Discord or Twitter. If you have the link. Shadow my daddy. No.
Memory's still alive from Nova. You can't
Remaining. Oh, they're getting a bus. And Xset.
By the way, chat, I'm also going to do like an analysis video on Ghost Gaming. I'm willing to bet Ghost Gaming. I already told this to Tensa, but I'm willing to bet Ghost Gaming at the end of the 3 Super Weekend is going to be first place overall. Like, and the whole entire basis of my prediction for this is, take a look at the scores here, right? So I'm putting together a YouTube video. It might be kind of long. I'm planning on having it out before this next Super Weekend. But Ghost Gaming right now has 0 chicken dinners, and they're in second place. And they're only 7 points behind Team Xset that has had 3 chicken dinners. So the thing is, like, when you get a chicken dinner, that's 15 placement points, right? That's a guaranteed 15 placement points. Plus, when you win a game of PUBG, you're usually like guaranteed 5 to 6 kill points. So each chicken dinner is like a really huge point game for each of these teams. Now, Xset has 3. 19 Esports has at least 1. But look at the point difference between these two. Right? Big point difference between second and so on. So basically, Ghost Gaming, they've had some good circle shifts for them in the Super Weekend towards the late game, and maybe they kind of messed up a little bit, or it wasn't too great of a circle shift, but it was good enough to give them points. But they have not had any super easy circle shifts where they get the chicken dinner and they get a huge game and kill points. But even with that being said, for 15 games, no chicken dinners, and they've managed to freaking get 173 points, perfect balance of kill points and placement points. So my argument is basically some of the other top teams on this list here, right, have gotten really nice circle blesses. Ghost Gaming has yet to really get that super good circle bless. and it's only going to take a matter of time and RNG where they get a couple circle blesses towards them. And Ghost Gaming is also a team that rotates really aggressively. Like, they go pretty center and they do pretty fast rotation. So eventually it's going to pay off where they'll get those chicken dinners. But even without the chicken dinners, they're only 7 points behind a team with 3 chicken dinners. So that's why I think Ghost Gaming is going to take first place overall at the end. Pretty confident on that prediction. How are the teams going to get into PMPL? Well, right, these teams are in PMPL already. Okay, someone sent me a link. Weekend 1, day 3, 154, 12. Okay, let's look at this. I'm already on day 3. Thank you, Theo, on Discord.
You in the end. Now, Passion Fruit,
sent me a
aware, they would have heard the fight that happened between Level X and Ghost. They know exactly what's going on. They're going to rotate all the way up and around. Steve-O and Sleepless have actually rotated to... with the mid, we're seeing now the nade is coming in. Did they hear the footsteps? That's the question they have.
Oh yeah,
so
this was nice.
Tensa's looking up over the top of the ridge. Can Kills was trying the shots. No, he cannot. Oh, did is Tensa's looking up over the top of the ridge. Can Kills was trying the shots.
I will PayPal someone $5 if they could find a clip of Tensa losing at 1v1 out of all the PMPL days so far. $5 to whoever can find a clip of that, because I don't think Tensa has lost a 1v1 yet in PMPL. I remember there was another really good clip of okay, so let's get this in order. So day 1, day 2, day 3. And then we'll separate this. So this is just a quick clip. What is this? This is also day 3. Let's open up. Tensa's just so fine-tuned. Man's just too goated. Why is Tensa always changing controls? So I always thought someone that always changes controls, you won't be as consistent, right? But you know what I've realized? I don't know who here follows the Valorant scene, like PC Valorant, but there's a player by the name of Tens. So quick little story, right? So Tens is on Cloud9. Oh wow, their name is almost exactly the same. Tensa, Tens. So there's a player by the name of Tens that plays Valorant. He plays on Cloud9. He retired from competitive because he has a massive following. So he's more focused on just streaming. And to be honest, his Cloud9 team was not that good. He's always carrying Cloud9, but Cloud9 as a team was not good at Valorant. So he retires, he streams, blah, 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 blah. There's another team called Sentinels. They're like in this big tournament. One of their players gets in trouble for like sexual harassment stuff. So he's kind of forced to be benched. And so Sentinels needs a 5th player. They pick up Tens, comes out of retirement, and Tens absolutely just dominates the tournament. And they win the championship. And Tens just like pretty much he doesn't carry the team, but he freaking top frags on the team. And basically the reason why I'm saying this is Tens on stream and just in general, he is notorious for always changing his sensitivity. So Tens, a really godly Valorant PC player, he's a player that constantly messes with his sensitivity and constantly is adjusting it. And Tensa is also the same type. Tensa is also a player that constantly messes with his control settings, his sensitivities, And so maybe there's some correlation to that, you know? Maybe godly players just is always fine-tuning their sensitivities and gun skills. But there's also some really good players that don't mess with their sensitivities all the time, right? So I'm not telling everyone start messing with your sensitivities every day, because that is not the play. Yeah, Sinatra was the one who had the sexual harassment allegations. Anyways, let's okay. So I think someone else said something in the chat. Timestamp. If there's a timestamp you want me to take a look at, DM me on Discord or Twitter, cause chat's going by too fast. I will lose your message in the chat. HH said Bayo made Tensa use Tommy. All I see is Tensa rocking that Tommy gun, dude. Who do you think is gonna win PMPL? All of America. So not just North America. Oh man, I need to watch. I haven't gotten a chance to watch South America yet. Hazard posted this first. Oh, okay, all right.
At the cover.
Is this time stamped? 2:46:16. Thank you, Hazard.
From Nova. You can't even see memory on the minimap. You can't toss this. This could be it for Sam.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Sam's gonna be peeking. Salt definitely seeing that one.
Murray helping Sam.
This is just Tensa trying to make it up to third place.
As he tries to go ahead.
Oh, Tensa losing his 1v1? That's not a 1v1. Okay, that doesn't count. That is that's not a 1v1. That's Tensa running in from the blue zone at like 6 HP. I mean, if you're gonna 1v1 Tensa, that's the best way to do it, right? Hazard says, nah, my money. That's funny. You guys are funny. I'll give you a shout out, VL Hazard, for the I love how some people in chat, how did Tensa lose that? I thought he was a god. Sam's just better. You guys are all a bunch of trolls. All right, let me check in with Tensa, see if he's ready. So this interview, I'm planning on asking like a lot of just unrelated PUBG stuff, like kind of how, like what makes you so good. Obviously, we know he's good at PUBG, but is it like, does he have a diet? You know, does he? I wonder if Tensa's the type to like play chess. You know, because people that are good at fucking chess are just smart as fuck. But anyways. LMFL chess. I'm gonna be asking him all sorts of questions. Like, what other games do you play? Does it help with PUBG? Like, what are some things you do outside of PUBG that you think helps improve you at PUBG? Just like getting into all the nitty gritty stuff. All right, he says he is ready. Yo.
Hello.
Tensa, the GOAT himself, bro. What is up?
I'm fine, Sita. How are you?
I'm doing good. Man, I just want to say real quickly, it is insane how consistent you are as like one of the top players. Like being one of the, you know, so-called NA GOATs. Like you just you prove that GOAT status so quickly in any tournament so early on, and it's just like that to me is just like this guy is 100% solidified as like a great player.
Honestly, I'm just as surprised as you are, but like I still don't feel like it's enough. So we'll see what goes on when some medicas come around.
Yeah. So like, okay. So I was saying it earlier on the stream. I don't know if you caught it, but what are some of the things that you do like outside of the game that you think might help you with your gameplay? Or do you think it's like solely all based on all your practice, all your training is solely done in the game, be it like training room or whatever the case?
I'd like to say that it's solely done in game because like the only thing I do outside of the game is I eat, I work out twice a day every day, and then I just sleep or have scrims or whatever, and that's it.
Okay. Do you think so here's an interesting question. So lately in esports, right? Teams have been slowly shifting towards like a more they're still slowly having more of a bit of focus on physical health. Like I've seen some like YouTube videos on certain teams, like I think like Team Liquid or whatnot. They provide like a training facility, like a gym pretty much, and they have like physical trainers and stuff like that. Do you think that helps you any at all? Or I know earlier you said it's just all done in game, but do you feel like being in a good physical shape also helps a little bit, or nah?
Yeah, actually, I do believe that. I feel like sometimes if I don't work out, I feel a little, shittier than usual. But like when I do, I have a better mental state. So I guess it's like if you're happy with yourself, and that's what working out does for you, makes you happy with yourself.
Okay. All right. Okay, I see. So I got a question for you, like a more personal question, because I'm still a competitive player and I'm trying to improve. What are some tips for getting better movement? Because I've noticed your movement control is just like on point. Anytime you want to move a certain way, it's like crisp, clean, quick, fast. Like there's no you like stuttering or like getting caught on anything or just moving in an awkward way.
Okay, so that actually it really depends on two things. It depends on your controls because there's the 3 presets.
Yeah.
I've tried both of them in like every single game because I keep switching between them. But the first preset is more so dedicated towards, I'd say, like newbies, I guess, because it's more easier and you don't have to think much when it comes to moving around.
Oh shit, I'm still on that one.
It's okay, but the third one, however, it's more. It allows you to think more because it makes your movement more precise and everything like that. So whenever I move around, I don't move around carelessly. I think about where I'm going to move or what I'm going to do after that before I actually move. So I'm usually like several steps ahead of what I'm going to do before I do it.
Oh, okay. And just for the chat, do you want to explain the difference between the first preset movement and the third preset movement?
So it's actually a little bit hard to explain, but I would say the first preset is more carefree and sluggish, and the third preset is more accurate and precise because you actually have to focus, or otherwise you're just gonna miss your joystick every single time.
Right. So yeah, the third preset, the way to move is your thumb has to be on the joystick, right, to do your movements.
Yes.
Whereas the first preset, it's the whole entire left side of your phone screen, right? You can your thumb doesn't have to be on your joystick, so your joystick positioning actually almost doesn't matter on the first preset, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm still on that first preset. I think there's a few other players that do third preset, right? I think Acer's one of the players that switched over the third preset a while ago, and his CQC is also good. Do you know of any other players off the top of your head?
Spec, but actually Acer is the one who convinced me to switch to third preset.
Oh, okay.
Because I was 1v1ing him, and You know, it was equal at first, but then he just kept beating me, and it was close, but he kept beating me, and I was like, okay, question mark? And then he told me what his controls was, so I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And that's sort of what started my addiction into, like, changing my controls all the time.
Oh.
It was basically Acer.
It was Acer? Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. So how long does it take to get used to third preset? Because I'm imagining myself if I switch to third preset. And by the way, chat, when we're saying third preset, we're mainly focused on the joystick. So first preset, the joystick does not matter. You just touch your thumb right on the left side of your phone screen, and no matter where you put your thumb down, as long as you're not hitting an input control, you're moving around. Third preset, the joystick position matters heavily. Your movements will all be based on exactly where that joystick is and where you put your thumb on your left hand screen. So back to the question, going from first preset to third preset, I'm imagining it'll take time to get used to, right? How long did it take for you to kind of get used to it?
Actually, realistically speaking, it should take no time at all, because the difference between first and third preset is you on the first, you can just put your thumb wherever. So when you're playing the first preset, you're not conscious of where your thumb actually hovers naturally.
Right.
However, if you use a third preset and you focus on where your thumb hovers naturally, you just have to put the joystick there, and then that's it.
Okay.
So it shouldn't take you no time at all. It actually took me no time at all. I just switched and I was fine.
Oh, I see. So it's not a case of kind of like switching layouts where you have to get used to the new layout, but it's more of a make the layout into what you've been doing, but just on a more precise kind of function, which is the third preset.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with muscle memory. If you hold your phone naturally and you see where your thumb is positioned as if you're like playing PUBG, that's where you would put the joystick. So that's it.
Okay.
No muscle memory at all.
Okay. Oh, all right. I might try that out, but I'll be honest with you. I'm just gonna imagine myself like. Okay, so another thing for me though is I play 5-finger claw, right? And so 3 of my fingers are on the left side, which is my movement side. And something I've noticed with that is that it kind of forces my thumb to be kind of lower on the phone. And one problem with my movement is that because my thumb initially starting out on my phone screen is lower, it doesn't leave as much space for me to like quickly backstep kind of, or like stop moving forwards, so to say. I don't know if you kind of get what I'm saying, but basically if I switch to third preset, even though you say technically you're 100% right, you just move the thumbstick to where your thumb naturally hovers, but I think my thumb is like all over the place because I don't have much space on the bottom left, so that I'm like constantly overcompensating in different situations, like have my thumb higher up or lower down or whatever the case may be.
Well, I don't have much space on my bottom left either. Like, if you've seen my controls, you can see that my joystick is technically right on my character. So that's how far my thumb stretches and where it naturally hovers, simply because I play 5-finger. However, if you played 4-finger, it would be extremely different. I do want to point out, there is something you should keep in mind when switching. You're actually bound to be more accurate on the first preset than you are in the third preset, because it may just be my imagination since I've like tested it so many times, but the first preset appears to have more aim assist than the third.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not really noticeable, but if you play on the third preset for a good amount of time, and you switch back, your aim will feel more sluggish and a lot harder to move to the left or right, but as a result, your aim assist will seem more effective. And I'm assuming that's only a thing because the third preset uses your entire screen as a way to look around rather than only the right side of your screen. 'screen. 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 'screen.
hold on. Say what you just said again, but like I'm like kind of processing it. But,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll make it more simple.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just my theory, but
Yeah.
in the first preset, it uses two different sides of your screen, right?
Right.
The left one for movement, right one for look around.
Right.
Because of that, your aim is more condensed on the right side of the screen. Therefore, your aim assist has to work harder to help you. However, on the third preset, it uses your entire screen as a look around, and your joystick is only fixed. So there's only one small movement, which is your joystick. Therefore, your screen isn't condensed, and your aim assist doesn't have to work as much because everywhere's a look around. You don't have to compensate more.
Oh, so you think like functionality wise, when you have your whole screen as your aim, which is the third preset, right? The aim assist doesn't need to work as hard because it's like the whole entire screen is kind of your aim in a way.
Basically, yes. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, that is interesting to think about. That goes pretty deep. I'm not gonna lie. And then I also think when you're aim assist mostly comes into play like hip fire wise, right? That's when it's the most apparent. And then I think on the third preset, when your movement is more precise, it might feel like the aim assist
is more free.
Yeah. So I see what you're saying. Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I have literally zero experience in this field, as in like with the third preset thing. So I'm gonna have to test it out myself.
I can also give you a little example on why I say that.
Okay.
So I 1v1 Xenox with my natural layout, the third preset, and I found that it was a lot harder to kill him, or rather beat him, because my aim was more carefree, and because my aim was more carefree and his strafes were fast, it was a little too fast when I was tracing. So during that time when I 1v1'd him again, I switched to the first preset and my aim was more sluggish, but it was a lot slower, so I was getting more headshots on him and I was able to kill him more. So that's basically what confirmed it.
And from your third preset to first preset, nothing is different, right?
The only thing that's different is my movement. My movement feels disgusting to me, but my aim feels great. So I guess it's like a trade-off.
Dude, that's something I never even thought was a thing. And do you have a screenshot of your layout anywhere? I know you've put it up quite a few times over the years.
Yeah, I can get it right now. Hold on.
Okay, yeah. I want to throw up your layout for the people to see real quick.
For reference, I'll do the first and third preset.
Okay. So there's quite a few players that are great at CQC, but one thing for me that has always set you apart is, and I actually said this like maybe a year and a half ago when people were talking about who's the best CQC, blah, blah, blah. I've always said the thing that separates you from people like Acer or Xenox or all these other great CQC players is that you're able to mentally break down all the possible engagements before they happen in your head in CQC, and you always take the most advantageous fight possible for you along with your insane CQC mechanics. And then that's something I noticed from watching your CQC highlights, whereas like with players like Acer, and I'm not saying Acer doesn't do this, but I've noticed Acer, his like highlight CQC 1v2s, 1v3s, whatever the case may be, it's him just literally outgunning the fuck out of his opponents with like just better aim. But there's like more kind of hip fire chants involved in his highlight clips as compared to yours, where it's like every little step you do, every little move you make, you can see it's so like methodical, and you don't give your opponent a chance to do any damage onto you. Like, would you agree with this analysis of mine, or you think I'm just like being a big fanboy?
That's actually true. See, the difference between Acer and I feel, is that in raw power, his CQC is way better than mine, which is why he's literally just focuses on his reaction timing and his outrageous aim to win the 1v1. However, with me, even though I'm a good CQC player, I'm really passive aggressive, so I hate being put in extremely unnecessary fights. Therefore, I prevent myself as much as possible from being in an extremely unnecessary fight where I'm not at an advantage. So yeah, I pretty much do think about it more methodically than others.
Oh, okay. So like just raw reaction time mechanics, you would still say Acer just is better than
way
yours.
better. So
way
is
better.
Spec.
So is
So
Spec.
is Xenox, actually.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen Spec just hit some nasty reaction timings on flicks and all of that. And you're saying Xenox too?
Xenox is actually way better than Spec and Acer combined, as well as me. I'm just, I guess, more methodical and have more IQ. And my CQC is good, so it works out for me.
Nice. So, okay, so we mentioned Xenox. So, Xenox, a newer player to the scene. Something I noticed about his CQC is that I feel like his movement is better than, like, his mastery of his movement in CQC is better than anyone else I've ever seen. Like,
that is true. His movement is, I would say that it's weird. That's all I can say about it.
It's weird
in a good way, because I've only won a lot of people, more so the pros, and they're more so adept to the meta of strafing when it comes to movement to like win their fights, whereas Xenox doesn't do that.
Yeah, he doesn't strafe. He does not strafe.
He moves as if he doesn't move at all, if that makes sense.
I actually have a really good clip that I'm gonna show the stream, and you could probably see it too, just if you tune into my stream. But before we do that, let's go over your layout. So let me bring that up.
So the first one is first preset. The second is third.
Okay, yeah. So we see classic 1 here at the top. So this is so you play on a really small joystick. Let's have a quick discussion on joystick size. This is something that's been talked about before, so I don't want to jump too much into it, but you could give a quick your breakdown of big joystick versus like smaller joystick.
Okay, so this actually extremely depends on the presets, sort of. For the first preset, you don't want to use a big joystick, because if you use a big joystick, the movement of your left screen moves to the right screen. So you know how it's like split down the middle symmetrical between left and right? It will no longer be that way if you use a bigger joystick in the first preset. Another thing for that is, generally using a smaller joystick means faster movement overall, not so much in strafing, but just in things that you want to do. However, it will cause you to be stuck on certain things because of how fast it is. However, when you use a big joystick, it's more accurate and precise, and you can do different rhythms to your strafe. Therefore, it makes it better in a way.
Okay. Yeah, I remember when I was on a really small joystick, I keep getting clipped on edges of things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's because you're not really paying attention, and because it's too fast. That's why.
Okay. All right. And then okay, so now we're on your third layout. So this is the fixed joystick, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna hop back and forth real quick too. Oh, so your first layout and your third one, there's There's some
They're basically the
decent
same.
changes. It's basically the same. I'm seeing like I guess it's just the bottom right that I see a difference, but yeah, it's basically the same actually. Okay, so this one, so we're looking at your third one right now. Yeah, a way bigger joystick. And so a bigger joystick specifically on the third preset. Yeah, you want to touch on that real quick?
Yeah, so anyone who switches to third preset, I would recommend that you use a big joystick. Not as big as mine, but anywhere between 88 to 145. Anywhere between that. And that's only because if you're not used to the third preset and you're like me and you're going into a scrim using it, you want to eliminate all chances of you missing your joystick, and that's basically the best way to do it. However, if you can also use extremely small, which is 50% on the third preset. But I wouldn't recommend you do that unless you're like completely used to the third preset, because then it's extremely easy to miss your joystick. So you have to like angle your thumb a certain way to where it's like precise like 99% of the time.
Yeah, I see. That would be literally my worst nightmare, switching to third preset, missing your joystick, because not only do you not move, right, but you would actually flick your aim elsewhere, right? Because your whole entire... Oh my god, dude, you'd literally look like the dumbest player alive just because you missed your joystick on the third preset. That's one reason why I'm so worried about trying to switch to the... Oh my god, I can't imagine. You're trying to get behind cover because this enemy in front of you is shooting you. Not only do you not get behind cover and you're standing still, you don't even shoot the enemy. You flick like to the other direction.
That's not even the worst part. Imagine you had to push someone. Back in World League, we were pushing a compound in north of Milta.
Okay.
And we were running in the field, and I saw this guy peeking me in the window. And as soon as I aimed in, I missed my joystick and did a complete 180.
Oh shit.
And by the time I noticed, I don't know, I guess he was just bad, but I 180'd again as soon as I did it, and I managed to knock him.
Do you have a recording of that? Holy shit,
no,
dude.
It was so long ago, and I was on the XS Max where I had like a lot of frame drops, so I didn't want to record. It was the most disgusting thing, and I remember Advo asked me, he's like, "Was that intentional?" And I'm like, "Yeah. That was totally calculated."
Advo, wait. So how did Advo see it?
Because we were streaming.
Oh, like private stream, right?
Yeah, private streaming. I like less when I'm on
private stream. What were those? Okay, I know this is like private stream, confidential, not to be shared, but were those recorded by any chance, and you could just clip that one?
We wanted to just keep it for a certain amount of days so that it would disappear right after.
Right.
And this happened like a year and a half ago. So
holy shit. Advo must have been like, this guy's hacking.
So disgusting.
So you did a double one. You basically did a 360 flick.
Yeah, because you see where my joystick is? It was extremely small, so it was a little more closer to my my first aid kit.
Okay.
But my thumb stretched a little bit under and to the right of that, and I was trying to strafe, so that's what made me do the 180.
And you did 2 180s when the enemy was shooting at you and you knocked him.
Yeah, when I noticed, I was like, that could have gone extremely bad. So after that, I just made it bigger so it wouldn't happen again.
I see. Okay. So what phone do you play on right now?
11 Pro Max.
11 Pro Max. Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So these are the two different layouts, and you mainly just stick to the third one, right? The bigger. Okay.
Yeah, if I happen to want someone like Xenox again, I'm switching to the first. So.
Okay. So with Xenox, his movement's really like jittery, so you almost want more sluggishness, so your your aim just kind of centers on him, right? That's what you were saying?
Yeah, not only that, if you watch his 1v1s, his aim actually seemed like 10 times more sluggish and stable as well, which is why he gets as much headshots as he does. So that's why you would want your aim to be slug as well.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right, let's I'm going to pull up one of the clips from Tensa, Xenox. I think so this one clip stood out to me. It wasn't posted too long ago. You might recall it, but it was a 1v2. We have Enigma in the chat, and Enigma was involved in it. But it was Xenox versus King A and an Enigma on Sandhawk, north of boot camp, in the little warehouse. You recall that one?
Yes, I do.
That first knock onto King A, like for me,
It should not have happened.
But
it really shouldn't.
But I'm imagining it from King A's perspective, right? Like from his perspective, Xenox, like the whole entire time, Xenox doesn't expose more than maybe just like his hands, and King A's just like forced to run into his bullets almost all throughout. That's what I took from it. I'm just like, that is disgusting. But what's your take on it? And hold on, I have the clip up now. All right, here we go.
So what you said about that is actually comparative to what you would do in a 1v4 situation. If you're the one that's getting the 1v4, right? So actually, let me go look at the clip.
Yeah.
I could better explain.
Get the fuck out of here.
Okay, yeah, exactly what happened there. So if you're in a 1v4 and they're the ones that's pushing you, and you knock someone and you run away, all they're gonna be focused is, oh, he's lit, full send them. They're not gonna think to shoot before they actually full send, so they just full send. And that's what causes them to run into the bullet and get knocked. That's exactly what happened to Kinge. If Kinge thought about it better, he would have full sent while doing a backstrafe pre-fire around the warehouse, like around the door to the right of the door,
right,
where Xenox wouldn't see him, and that one bullet would have killed Xenox.
Yeah.
So it it shouldn't have happened, but it happened because of Kinge's mentality.
And most players would not even expect, though, like Xenox to get aggro.
Yeah, like why the fuck is he peeking me? He's so low. That's exactly what would help you win a 1v4 like that, because of that mentality. They don't expect you to peek. Like, he's lit. He wouldn't be dumb, right?
Yeah, he wouldn't push me. He's just playing defense. I'll just pre-fire the box that he was hiding behind. But then all of a sudden, he's at the door. And then the other thing for me, so the decision making by Xenox is really great here, but the movement right here, I'm paused right before the door. If I try to do this fake push, pre-fire, peek type of thing that Xenox is doing, I would 100% either get clipped on the wall, or I would run a little bit too past the door and expose myself too much. But Xenox, like every frame of it is just like really great control, in my opinion. And King A doesn't even get a chance to kind of see him before he's like dead.
Yeah, Xenox's movement is really stable, I would say. Really controlled and stable. So that's based on like experience, because I think I remember I was in his stream one time and he was asking me for help on like what his issue was, and I thought it was maybe his joystick, but he said he hasn't changed it in a while. So he's not someone who touches his HUD at all unless he like extremely has to. So at that point, it's just experience and being used to his joystick and his movement.
Okay. We could go on forever about mechanics, bro. Like, the way you approach your mechanics and the way you think about it is just, I think a lot of players just naturally get it, right? But I think you're one of the players that really thinks about it and can break it down, and basically it'll translate to not just helping other players kind of understand it better, but improving your own mechanics when you know there's like an area that's lacking almost, right?
Yeah, I like knowing how things work. If I don't know it, it bothers me. So.
Okay. All right. Let's shift topics really quickly. Let's talk about BMPL, right? So you guys have played your first week. One quick question. During this regular week, for us casters, when we were casting you guys, I just chalked it off to you guys being super aggro because, you know, it's a regular week. All you need is top 16, so you guys are just pushing your limits a bit more. But during the regular week, you guys on the first day didn't do too well. Was that because you guys kind of changed your playstyle just to play more aggro to see what you guys could get away with? Or was there actually something else going on there? If you're allowed to disclose, that is.
It was actually just the first part. We wanted to see what we were getting away with because at this point, because of how the way the prize pool is distributed, we're essentially playing a scrim. A scrim that we had to, no matter what, be top 16 in. So it allows you to make a lot of room for error and see what you can and cannot get away with.
Okay. Yeah, you guys literally just drove into, I think, for 3 of the 4 games, you just drove right into enemy teams. Like, no prior setup, no nothing. Just like, we're just going right in and gonna see if we're better than these teams, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And then, obviously, going into the Super Weekend, you guys did really, really good day number 2 and 3. What was happening on the first day? Was it just the circle shifts or just harder than usual? Or
I'd like to say at first we were extremely unlucky, and second, we were confused at some of the shifts. Because the shifts were just like, it was so awkward in the position that we were in. It was just like, okay, what do we do now?
Okay, so it was like the perfect, just bad shift.
Yeah, and in one of the games too, I think on Miramar, we were actually supposed to survive that. The only 2 issues was there was like solo on a hill that we didn't expect to be there because they were doing like this ridiculous split. And secondly, I was driving a bike and, you know, I was going down a hill, but somehow my bike decided to take flight and I flipped it and I landed right into JCR. Wow. And I knocked one, but I was staring at like the other one for like 10 whole seconds because I didn't think he'd see me, so I just decided to heal. But then he saw me and he killed me. And I figured that like if I didn't heal, I could have knocked him. So.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over really quickly, just like the day 1 shifts for you guys, because I'm also planning on doing a analysis video on why I think your team is going to be number 1 at the end. And it's just your guys' consistency when you guys don't get nice shifts, right? So, looking at this one, do you see my stream real quick?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. So this one, I think, yeah, the most obvious play was to just go what you guys did, which is going towards the big power station where Lazarus is. Yeah, other than that, like, I think you guys did the right rotation there and just didn't work out. Lazarus obviously has a great defense in that area. And then I'm just going to hop around to the rest of the games on day number 1. So, yeah, day number 1, you guys didn't do too well. And it's just the shifts. Yeah, this one's pretty tough, too. What happened in this one? I'm going to play this one out real quick.
Oh, I remember this shit too. This one was disgusting as well.
Yeah, that's a hard shift. It does seem doable, though. But then again, I wasn't the one playing, so...
Yeah, it was doable, but the fact that we didn't have enough vehicles is what made it disgusting.
Oh, okay.
That's what made it undoable.
Okay. What'd you guys have here? Just like...
I think we only had a Bronco. And he had a buggy, but he stopped behind us instead of full pushing, and it was 3 of us in a Bronco. I shot one as we were driving in, but we just got blown up. I think if we had more cars there with H stopping behind us and being Overwatch, we would have survived that.
Okay, so question here. I'm seeing a potential play you guys could have done, but it obviously just depends on the comms and what your objective was at the time. So wouldn't this yellow area be playable? Because I'm seeing like a ridge there on the mini map at least. I know Passion Fruit probably has line of sight somewhat, but this south side, Nova was here and they all died, so maybe it's not too playable. Well,
yeah, I did make a suggestion that we should do that because I knocked Nova there, but then Beo and I later pointed out that Nova was getting shot by like 2 different teams, so we were like, okay, nah.
Yeah, so you guys went for the game-winning play, which was to flush out
Just
exit.
send exit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this discussion actually leads to a really interesting question that I want to ask. So like, there are moments in the game where it's either you go for the game-winning play, which might cause you to die early, or you go for the play where it's like, you know, you can survive for a bit, but it puts you guys in a tough position for the next shift if you guys don't get it. So you guys as a team, I'm going to assume, especially with 4 members alive, you guys are always confident enough to just take that engagement and go for like a more game-winning play, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Do you think there's too many teams right now, like in the PMPL for North America, that doesn't do this and they look to just find a spot to survive in? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Actually, I do believe that. I feel like the only teams who doesn't do that just because of the nature of their style is Except Nova and HQA.
Except Nova
Maybe
and HQA.
Lazarus a little bit, but mainly Except Nova and HQA because they just have such a I don't give a fuck mentality that they just push anything. That's the way that I see it. So yeah, most of the other teams, they don't really do that, except those 3.
Okay. Yeah, I would probably say, since I've played with Fate from the Lazarus team, that, yeah, we typically, even with 4 alive, we prefer to just kind of stay alive a little bit more. And maybe it's a little bit different now. Like, I've noticed Lazarus playing a bit more aggressive. And, oh, I need to ban this person. Hold on.
Your mods are AFK.
Okay, there we go. Okay. What was I saying? Lazarus. Yeah, okay. And then Nova. What do you think about Nova's performance in the Super Weekend? I'll go first. I think Nova is still kind of like Nova in the sense that
May I cut you off real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
There's still someone going crazy in your chat as of right now.
Oh, I think I only blocked him on the restream chat. All right, let me.
Yeah, you didn't ban him.
Oh shit. Okay. Freaking trolls, bro.
Jesus.
Okay, Saku's back. All right, I'll keep an eye on it too, though. Saku, you could mod some people in the chat. There's quite a few people in here that are regulars that I trust, like S-Rich here. You could definitely mod S-Rich. All right, so I was talking about Nova. So Nova had a really good regular week. They were like first place overall, great performance, but that's just, you know, the regular week. And I am getting a really loud notification. Something just happened. I think I got a sub. Erwin, thank you for the sub. Okay. And then in the Super Weekend, I feel like Nova's Super Weekend performance is like the Nova that we've always known, right? The Nova that can get things done, but something just kind of separates them from the top teams like you guys, like Exit, GhostGaming. And I think overall Nova is still kind of in that stage, especially since their roster's a little bit new. So at the end of the tournament, I'm expecting Nova to kind of just be like that bottom top 5 team, bottom top 6 team. Like, what's your thoughts on Nova? Because the broadcast was talking a lot about it, and I want to get your thoughts on Nova.
I think Nova is a really 50-50 team. 50 they do good, 50 they do bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that's mostly because of how many times they changed their rosters. They're probably the only team that's been around for the longest time and have almost no synergy with their roster that I know of.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's pretty much their main issue.
Yeah. And then I think their playstyle probably is why they're that 50-50 team. I feel like they're always playing. So Jifan, super experienced player, and I know the Nova coach, the way Nova plays, they are a type of team to play for the win on the game. They are not the type of team to play for, placement points, so to say. So I think it's like when they're playing for the win, when they do those bigger plays, if it works, it works, and they like literally almost secure the rest of the game, right? But if it doesn't work, that's the other 50% side. They go out early, they lose players early, and then they're just kind of forced to not get that many points that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you guys are also a team that goes for the kind of game-winning plays, but obviously you guys are your synergy is just on another level, and it obviously shows why you guys are way higher in points right now. Do you feel like you guys have a good chance at taking number 1 overall by the end of the 3 super weekends?
Yeah, I do think it's possible as long as we don't get unlucky with the zone shifts. However, I do feel like at the end of the 2 more super weekends that we have, we should be able to find a way to play around that, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are also learning at the same time, right? With those like kind of harder circle shifts that you guys have been experiencing?
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. Which is more difficult? This PMPL right now or the last PMPL, which would be PMPL Americas?
Americas is way more... Actually... No. Americas was actually a little bit more easier than this. And I only say that because much of the decision-making in this lobby doesn't make sense, if you know what I mean.
Oh, okay.
So the gun,
yeah,
the gun skill in America's last PMPL was harder, but the decision making made more sense, so it was more predictable.
Okay. Okay, no, I know exactly what you're saying. So pretty much, this is what I take from it. And this is what I feel. I'm not playing this PMPL, but I'm watching all of it, so I see a lot of these decisions from teams. But it's like in the Americas, all the teams are better. So you can predict what they're going to do next that will set them up in the best position based on where they are on the map and what's happening in the game. So that makes it easier for you guys to also make your decision on what to do best, right?
Yep, that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. And then in this, you get some of those, like, what is this team doing? Like, why are they over here type of deal things? And it just kind of comes out of nowhere and it screws you guys over. And so it's more difficult in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, even that being the case, you guys are doing freaking great. And before we go on anymore, do you have anywhere that you need to be anywhere anytime soon? Or, like, we didn't really talk about... Okay.
No, we don't have any scrims or anything. We're taking a day off, so I'm chilling.
Nice. All right. Quick question. Who dies first right now on Ghost Gaming the most often? I kind of have an answer in my head, but...
H.
HH still? Oh my gosh. What's up, Mike?
I made a channel in your Discord, so if anyone wants to ask any questions, it's in your Discord, so you don't, like, lose it. Right here for, like, Tensa.
Oh yeah, we'll do open Q&A in a little bit.
It'll be over here.
Okay. And you're linking it in the chat? You're letting them know where to ask? I'm just going to assume yes to that.
Yes, she is.
Okay, so HH. What are your... Okay, my personal thoughts on HH is that when he takes it serious, like in China, the man was like destroying kids with an SKS in China. Like, I don't even think he uses that gun, but he was like murdering people on it was the last game of PEL where they got the dub. And I just remember seeing in the kill feed HH like botting people with the SKS like towards the last game ending zone. I'm just like, what is this guy on, dude? Like, and then there's that side of HH, and then there's the, I don't know, just kind of what we've seen so far. He just kind of dies first all the time almost.
Yeah, the difference between H and I is H doesn't take things too seriously unless there's a shit ton of money involved. So if there's like money involved, he'll take it seriously, but if there's not, it doesn't really matter because he doesn't care about placement or really tough fragger. And like things people say to him or like insult him, he literally just doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, HH is the most I don't give a fuck person I've met in the scene, bro.
Yeah, but with me, I don't take things serious, but I also don't like getting bodied, so I'm gonna play to my best either way. Not my best, but like my best. So that's the difference between H and I. He's really good when he wants to be, but if he doesn't care, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, I made a joke with H or somewhere, maybe in chat on a stream or something. Yeah, but H saw it. I was joking. So you and H are like the power duo out of North America. I don't think there's a stronger 2v2 duo besides you two. And I made a joke, since at this stage it doesn't seem like H is playing to his full potential. And you guys are still botting, right? Like, you're second place with no chicken dinners. I made a joke that in a 2v4 situation, when it's you and H, the first thing HH probably says in the comms is something along the lines of, all right, Tensa, you ready to 1v4 this?
That is both true and not true. He doesn't say it, but that's the vibe that he gives off. Like, he will obviously tries his best, but he knows that if he gets knocked, he has me to clutch up. So he like cares and doesn't care. He's like, okay, I'll Tensa, it's whatever. I just need to do my job.
Yes, I'll just go for maybe one knock, and then Tensa will get the trade and plus 3 others, right?
Yep, pretty much.
Okay. All right. Was there any other any topics that you want to touch on that I didn't really, ask or question about? Or just anything that comes to your mind that you might want to say for the viewers?
Actually, I can't touch on something, but I figure we do it like nearing the end of the interview. Because it's pretty much a lot to talk about.
Oh, okay, nice. All right, cool. Let's I see it in the chat, the 2v4 on the Knights. Let's watch that clip back real quick for everyone in the chat to get a quick refresher. And then you could give your thoughts and your input on what was going on this game towards the end. All right, Tensa?
Okay.
Once again, oh my goodness, use the vehicle explosion to finish it on up. More shots here from Tensa, showing his star power in a big way, creating an opening for the rest of the team to try and push in, try and make a play. As Alucard drops, Zute, they may have done it.
Oh, they got that opening. They're going to go for that hard push. If any team could do this ridiculous push onto such a strong position of the Knights, it would be GhostGaming.
Yo, I'm gassing you guys up so hard. And then, of course, H just gets naded. But I can't blame him, bro. That was a good nade. But it would be H.
Yeah, that nade was really good.
Who's got to try and reset, stymieing this push as best they can, but they have to remember.
Oh, fucking YouTube auto quality. All right, back to 1080.
Remember that the hit list is still here on the outside as well. They could come in for a sneak attack on the outside. They need to be cautious. They need to try and take this fight as quick as they can.
You're fucking
going to try and line it all up. Shots are there through the bush. Can't quite connect. And it's all going to come down to these shots. Tensa finds it once again. This man is on a killing spree. Somebody shut him down as the nades are flying through. Knight's trying to stabilize.
So now that it's buffed, it's so amazing.
The last one standing for the team. They went with the aggressive send. They tried to get the kills, but they couldn't quite get it done. This is their last hurrah as Bayo falls down. HH24 will recover. Zute, they're not quite out of this yet.
They're not out of it yet. And the duo of Tensa and HH, the most epic time duo of NA. This duo can do it. They get a knock onto Solitude. It's a 2v3 now. I'm rooting for them. I think HH and Tensa can win this match right now.
especially with the player who's creeping in behind them, going down as well, make this peer 2v2. Russell pops in around the corner, can't quite find the shots though, trying to juggle around the rock. Oh no, is able to find one, but the shots are going back, trying to make it a 1v1 situation. It all comes down to this Tensa. How big can he go?
Oh my god.
Not quite big enough as the Knights hold strong. That man was going on.
Look at me. I'm still sitting in my chair because I forgot to stand back up to be on camera because I was so invested into that fight. Yeah, like I look up at so my casting setup, right? I have 3 screens on my Hot Juke setup. The gameplay is on the bottom screen, so I'm like staring really intently at that, and then on my other screens it shows the broadcast, like what it looks like on the actual production side. And so I peek up and I see my head just like almost out of frame at the very bottom. I'm like, oh shit, I need to stand back up and, you know, get back to work and talk about this. Like, that was such an exciting ending. I totally forgot to do my job even.
Honestly, dude, that ending actually made me so mad. Like, I was extremely mad after that. I was like so sad about it. And I rewatched the clip over and over again because like Spec was watching my POV. And like I felt like there was like 2 ways I could have won that. One is, well, you know, if I had the Tommy, and 2, there's like just this little movement where if you strafe a few times and then go into a one-way strafe, it completely throws off someone's aim because they're so invested into strafing. I felt like if I did that I would have won, but I wasn't thinking about it at the time.
Yeah, so you did the strafe for the first 2 knocks, which is fine. But by that time, when the 3rd player comes in, yeah, you switch it up and just like throw off the last player. So if you kept, I think in this situation, if you kept strafing, I would imagine downhill, it would throw off the enemy, right? Or would you keep strafing and strafed uphill to the left?
No, I would strafe uphill to the left because at that point he was going a little bit towards the right, so he would have to compensate.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that. Oh yeah, he was hitting the right strafe at that time.
Yeah.
Shots are going back, trying to make it a 1v1 situation. It all comes down to this Tensa. How? Shots are going back, trying to make it a 1v1 situation.
Yeah, it was really unfortunate.
So you open it up with a grenade. HH goes down. You get the trade and a +1. And what's crazy is H and you. Okay, so you and H pushed from the same direction, but you instantly went for that strafe on the side of the hill, which makes it so difficult for enemies to hit. And you just, even though they were pre-firing H and basically right into you, you just body Russell and Alucard here.
Yeah, pretty much. We were also talking about that game. Honestly, I felt like you remember when Russell knocks Bayo?
Yeah, earlier on. Yeah.
When that entire time he was nading, I actually saw the very tip of his head. But at the time, I think I was also holding a nade. But I felt like if I had canceled that, I would have been able to knock Russell because just look at his head.
Yeah, it's pretty
just
exposed.
A double tap and you would have been knocked, and then all we would have to decide is either push or let me get the nade and then push, and it would be 2v2. But actually Sully was knocked, so it'd still be 2v2. By the time Sully gets up, he would have just been one shot, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I think what it really comes down to is HH just play a little bit better. Make it just a little bit easier for Tensa, and then because you had the last player at like what 40 HP,
35 HP
35.
around.
Yeah. Man.
H said he was trying to crawl into my point of view, so his like aim assist would go down to H, but he wasn't fast enough. Yeah, this was amazing to watch. I was just absolutely losing my mind here. And was there any other highlights that was caught on stream that you could recall? Or I don't think there was any like this big of a highlight. No.
Yeah.
Most of what I do now is I just get 2 pieces. But like when I was getting that potential 1v4, I was literally having a flashback to what happened in Trova League. And I was gonna be so happy if it happened again, but it didn't. So it feels bad.
Well, this was the closest like 1v4, 2v4 we've seen so far in PMPL, right? And so it's like it'll happen eventually. And okay, let's open it up for questions real quick. Let's see what some of the Q&As we got. So Leia asked, did it hurt when you fell down from heaven?
Yeah, it did, actually.
All right. Kino asks, which player globally do you wish to go up against and why?
That's a good question. I think it would be Karelia or Order. And for Order, it's because he's a very good CQC player. However, his CQC isn't as good as some of people think. It's more so his IQ that wins him the fights, which is basically what it is with me. My CQC is just a little bit better than his. So, and for Karelia is because I've 1v1 Karelia already, and the exchange was
like in a TDM or in an actual game setting?
In a TDM.
In a TDM, okay.
And yeah, and the exchange was I won, but all of what he did, we did the exact same shit.
Oh wow.
Another thing is during PMPL when we did face him, I would always be afraid of getting 1v4'd by Karelia. so I kind of want payback.
I see. Okay. Yeah, I think what you say about Order, it has to be 100% right, because I actually 1v1 Order when I was in Dubai. Yeah, so we were on the same ping, I believe, and I 1v1 Order, and I beat him once by 1 kill, and then he beat me once by 1 kill, and it was just like, I for a fact am not, I would put myself above average in terms of CQC gameplay. And so when I 1v1 Order, it was not like when I 1v1 you, or it was not when I 1v1 other players. So it made me think okay, it must be his game IQ that sets him apart in those CQC fights and actual tournament settings, which is why he does so well. So I think you're absolutely right about that.
Yeah. The only reason I started thinking about that though is because when H-Rain and Spec came back from PEC, they told me that if I had been there, compared to the SA teams, it would have been extremely easy for me to 1v4 the Chinese teams. And then maybe months later, I saw an interview with Paraboy, and he says that China doesn't focus on gun skill at all. They're way about strategy. So at that point, I was just like, okay, that makes sense. That I understand why Order is considered the best. Is mainly because of his IQ, not his CQC.
And that's what one of your strengths are on CQC. I think overall, though, your mechanics are better and your IQ is the same, if not maybe a little bit better. I think team IQ, overall team IQ CQC wise, the Chinese teams, that's what gives them the big advantage.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah, way better. All right, next question. Future of competitive in PUBG Mobile, and where do you see yourself in the future? Or where do you see yourself in the future in terms of the future of competitive PUBG Mobile?
I see myself at PC. I also think I'm not sure if this PUBG will last, but I'm hoping that this new PUBG that's going out will be just as better. So if there's tournaments there, I'm definitely going to be the first player to be the best mechanically.
Okay.
That's only if the game has potential.
Other
than that, if PUBG dies and that game doesn't do anything, then I'm just gonna focus on real life.
Okay, so you don't plan on jumping onto Wild Rift came out. Do you have any interest in MOBAs, or are you more just the battle royale first person shooter types, or in this case third person shooter?
I've actually played Vainglory before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a lot like that, I actually really like it a lot. Simply because of like, it takes a lot more thinking than it would in a game like PUBG.
Right.
Actually, no, I take that back. I think PUBG's a little more thinking, but like, same thing either way.
Yeah, MOBA's like more structured team thinking. There's less RNG that comes into play.
Pretty much.
Right. So like would you do so let's say PUBG competitive dies, right? And then you mentioned PUBG New State. That's the new PUBG you were talking about. If that one doesn't take off or whatnot, would you try and do esports still on mobile, or when you said you'll focus on real life, you'll just have like if something happens, it happens, but you're not looking for it?
Yeah, I think if there's a game that I find interesting, whenever I look into a game, I'm only focused on its mechanics because like my nature is basically just mechanics. I only think about mechanics because I like looking flashy and shit. But yeah, if there's a game like that that has tournament potential, I'm definitely gonna get into it. But other than that, nah, I'm not gonna deal with any other game.
Okay. All right. Next question. What's the advantage of having your fire button on the right side? So let's bring up your layout again.
Yeah, that's actually purely preference. And the reason I put it on the right side is because I found that it was actually easier to tap, and sometimes if it was on the left, I would have like certain issues, like where if my nail wasn't cut, it would just like not register at all. But if my nail isn't cut on my right index, because of like the way that it's placed, it doesn't matter. So that's why I switched it. But it's mainly preference.
Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing you're right hand dominant, right? Or
yes, sir.
Yeah, and much easier to do the single fires with tapping on the right side compared to the left side, because I've had issues with that too, but I gotten kind of used to it. But yeah.
Yeah, true. But either way, I still think it's awkward tapping with my right index. So I just use my right thumb.
Okay, yeah, tapping. Oh, right thumb. Yeah, most players tap with their thumbs. I actually tap with my. Well, okay, PUBG actually kind of glitches out for me. I would like to tap with my thumb, but with my layout, I don't want to get into it. Just something weird happens with the zoom in scope and all of that. So I was forced to learn to tap with my left index, which is still definitely not as good as all the other options.
I feel like I may understand the issue that you're talking about, but we can get into that another time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Just tell me like yes or no. Like, so I want to tap. Have you seen my layout, or are you like somewhat familiar with my layout?
I actually haven't seen your gameplay in such a long time, so
yeah, I haven't streamed in a while. Let me see if I could get a quick picture up. Where is my layout? Oh, I'll just bring up a freaking my gameplay. Okay. Okay, so it's kind of hard to see, but I can just draw over it. So I use hold to lean and hold to scope. So here's my scope button. Do I have it on the right? Okay, no, I don't. Okay, here we go. Now you should be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it to show right now. Oh. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Okay, so ideally, I want to have my other shoot button down here on the bottom right, so I could tap with my right thumb. But something weird that happens is if I scope in and I'm holding, I think it's just too many inputs on my screen because I use hold to lean and hold to scope. So sometimes when I'm scoped in and I'm holding down on my right side my lean button too, and I tap bottom right for that, tap fire, the quick tap fire button, it literally just does not shoot. Like nothing happens. And
does your scope jitter a little bit as well, or no?
I think so, but that's mainly due to the gyro, because when I'm scoped in and I'm tapping on the bottom right, like my phone will move slightly, so the scope still moves. It doesn't like lock up for any reason.
And how small is the joystick? Is it really? I mean, not the joystick. The shoe, but is it really small or a little bit big?
It's definitely big enough that I'm 100% hitting the button and nothing just happens.
Have you noticed if it slightly overlaps with the reloading? Because I imagine that if you're putting it there, you don't want it to be too close to your gun, because then you might accidentally shoot. So you might put it a little bit closer to your reloading.
It doesn't overlap with anything. Like I took a good look at everything, and it's just been an issue for quite a while. Like maybe with the last update, something got changed, but I've just learned to just tap fire with my left index since it just does not work. But
is it like really close to the bottom of your screen?
It is close to the bottom of my screen. Yeah.
Honestly, the only way I would be able to like answer that is like I would need to see like the way you hold your phone and tap with your thumb. Honestly.
Okay. Maybe I'll record it one day and just it's so easily replicable too of it just not shooting. Like I just go in the training room and I would just look at my hands and literally tap the button when I'm doing like a lean scope in, and it just does not shoot. And so I'm like, fuck it. But all right.
Yeah, we can deal with that another time.
Yeah, let's get back to some of these questions. Okay, so back to the interview. So the advantage of the right side fire button is just preference, but is mainly just, easier to tap on the right side. Okay. Next question. Talk about the intricacies of ADSing versus hip firing in CQC and the trade-off of oh, this is a good one. And the trade-off.
Can you repeat that?
Okay, talk about the intricacies of ADSing versus hip firing in CQC and the trade-off of faster movement speed while hip firing versus having a higher chance of hitting more shots while ADS'd. And that was by Cloud.
Can you take a screenshot of that so I could literally read it while I think about it?
Sure. It's this is a very like heavily loaded question. I'll give my input really quickly. Like the easy answer is there's a lot that goes on with it, and this is something that you just have to constantly play through experience to find that like perfect balance of both depending on different CQC type of situations. But that would be my easy answer. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that or
I can elaborate on it, but technically that would be the easy answer.
Yeah, okay. Let me bring the answer on, or the question onto the stream. All right. You should see it in a couple seconds.
All right, hold on.
Let me zoom in a little bit. I don't know how easily seen it is.
Okay, so this is basically two questions. Okay, so ADSing versus hip firing. You can basically, actually Cloud already knows this, but for anyone that doesn't know, you can basically hip fire at least 30 to 40 meters away, depending on the way that you strafe and the way that you drop down and control your movement. If it's extremely CQC though, you would mainly just want to hip fire, but add a little bit of ADSing into it. Maybe like if it's 15 meters. So.
Oh, I have a clip from you that's like.
It
correlates. It was your clutch on the Trovo League.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so you would want to mainly hip fire. Like if you're on a ridge that's pretty far, you would mostly want to hip fire rather than ADS because it gives you that extra movement to dip down and cover more rather than ADS would, because ADS just slows your movement. The issue with ADSing is most of the people Actually, first of all, hipfire is just broken in this game, and most of the people you will fight mostly won't ADS unless they have an ADSing issue. Which is why technically, if you're really good at hipfiring, you would want to choose hipfiring over ADSing at like any point in time. In the clip that you're looking at right now, I think this here correlates to the second question. Hold on, give me a second. I'm joining your server real quick. Okay, yeah, so basically what that is, you can actually combine it. You don't want to just choose one or the other, faster movement over having a higher chance of accuracy. I'd rather you just like combine it, because if you combine it, you would have faster movement with a slight stop that would throw the person that's tracing you off guard because of your ADS.
Okay.
Because you're going fast into slow, and then slow into fast. It's confusing because you're not matching the tempo of your speed. So for the first question, you would mainly just always want to use hipfire, but for the second, I would rather you combine it both if it's at a distance like what you see in my clip.
Okay.
Even if you're like using a 6x, it doesn't really matter. As long as your crosshairs is automatically just on the person, you're always gonna hit that body or headshot.
Yeah, I never thought about the whole like millisecond ADS would like alter your speed in a way where it could throw off the opponent when you're strafing left and right. Never thought about it that way.
Yeah, it works wonders.
That's one of my problems in CQC. I get so zoned in on just purely hip firing that even at a distance when I need to ADS a little bit, like when you 1v1'd Fate at the very end, right? Like those quick ADSs do slightly come into play to help with like just dead nailing a bullet onto the target.
Yeah, that's actually what pretty much saved me. Because the first 3 to 4 shots, you can't see it, but if you slow it down, I missed the first 2 to 3 shots, I think.
Yeah.
Like, none of it hit him. Yeah, none of it.
There's
so
like no hit markers. Yeah, that was beautifully done. Also, Fate should have freaking third-partied you earlier, but he probably wasn't expecting you to finish that fight so quickly. He probably thought you had a little bit more time and that your fight was going to take longer, but you just dropped 3 players so fast.
Yeah.
Beautiful mastery and control, by the way. Just like when I watch your POVs, like in these CQC situations, I never see like a clunky movement. I never see like a small clunky like stray for ADS. It's just like really good mastery. And while I'm talking about this, there was a point in the tournament actually. I was kind of low-key roasting Sixless, but I said it in the chat more so to just highlight the difference in skill level of players and their mastery of CQC. It was day number 3. But basically, Sixless... it wasn't this one. Should have been...
No, he cannot.
Yeah, it was on Miramar.
Oh my goodness, Tensa with the pure...
I'm your host, F. Dot.
There's somebody there.
Give me a sec.
Now
I'll skip around a little bit.
Exact play, but if they did it now,
They assume Lazarus, they're going to be hurting. So I'm curious. Oh, sir. 10 kills, toss out a smoke, avoid the third party, the thirst from Ghost.
I think it was day number 2. Oh yeah, it was this game. Which, by the way, you guys had such a shitty circle shift here.
Yeah, it was pretty disgusting.
Okay, Lazarus is still alive here.
Team's not in the zone yet. They got to decide which position to play in.
Okay, right here. So, not roasting sixless guys, but this is kind of like, this is bad for even sixless. I know sixless could do better with his CQC here, like movement wise, but this is probably the same problem I have, where when I'm pushing an enemy player or a team under like a more intense situation, I lose control of my movement in a way. And so here you guys will see sixless's CQC.
Not every piece of ground
it's
that's in front of you are gonna
pretty
have to
bad
fight
actually.
for.
Have you seen this yet? I don't think you probably haven't.
Actually,
Okay, well prepare your eyes. He wins his 1v1, but it just does not look pretty at all.
Discovering here up against multiple players. They're all lined up for him though, trying to put the M4 to work. Doesn't have a lot of HP, trying to tick back everybody can with the stims, but the players are rushing in one after another. Wins one gunfight.
He's trying to do that left-right strafe, but like he's caught moving forward the whole time too.
Okay,
so,
that is an issue with first preset.
That is okay.
Yeah, I sometimes whenever I use the first preset, I get that issue momentarily to the point where I have to take my thumb off of the joystick in like a half second to fix it.
That is literally what I do right now with my first preset to start strafing after I'm moving forward. So you're saying on the third preset, once you master it a little bit better,
you won't have an issue like that, no.
Holy shit, bro. Okay. Committed to third preset.
Oh
Because it's literally the worst feeling.
Bad.
Like this, when this happens, it's the worst fucking feeling ever. You just... And it throws your aim off, right? Because you're not expecting to get closer and closer to the target. Your mind is set on like a further distance to practice your or not practice, but to aim your gyro and your strafes left and right. But when you keep moving closer to the target at the same time, it's just complete fucking... It feels awful.
Yeah, and that's only because of misplacement of the thumb. It's not it's not hold on, give me a second. Yeah, figure out the word. Okay, yeah, it's not horizontal with where the joystick actually is, so that's what makes it happen.
I see.
Yeah, it's purely just misplacement. If you're not, like, whenever I push something, I'm paying attention to my movement rather than the actual person because of my peripheral vision. I'm not actually looking at the person, I'm just paying attention to my movement. Everything about it.
Oh, okay. Kino says in the chat, that's the legendary e-girl strafe. Very effective.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Holy shit.
Yeah, like that's bad even for sixless. I know he does better than that, but
yeah, sixless CQC has gotten better, but like that was pretty sad actually.
Yeah. Cloud Boy says sixless strafes like Rage in that clip. Rage is like what, the thumb player, right? Only two.
Yeah, the Jared thumb player.
Okay. Well, dude, I'm glad I brought this clip up because the fact that you said you have this problem too sometimes on layout 1 makes me realize, okay, maybe it's the layout, not so much I'm just garbage at movement.
Yeah, I mean, it's not 100% the layout. Technically, it's also
a combination
your fault
of both. Definitely.
Yeah. It's just it's paying attention to your thumb, basically. That's all it really is.
Okay. All right. I'm so confused as to why Rage hasn't changed more fingers yet. I think he just hasn't gotten clapped hard enough to warrant a change. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the questions. This is great. We're getting into a lot of different things just like naturally. Okay. Next question. Is Tensa sometimes losing motivation for PUBG? If yes, what does he do to get motivation? And to add on to that for myself, if no, what is your motivation in the first place?
I've actually never had like a good enough motivation. I think I've lost motivation in playing this game for a while, which is like a little bit Anyway, basically, I don't have motivation, but like, I just don't like getting bodied. So that's it. I don't like playing the game. I don't get on to play every day. I don't spend hours on it. I just hate getting bodied. So I'll do whatever I can to make sure I don't get bodied. That's all it is.
Okay, damn. I like that. I like that answer. That's a very Tensa-esque answer. Just, I hate getting bodied, bro. That's all there is to it.
It's such a sad feeling, isn't it? It's like, damn, he really just did that to me.
Yeah, yeah. So that is your motivation, to not get bodied. Well,
pretty much.
You've been... When's the last time in a major tournament that you just straight up got bodied? That you were like, fuck.
It's actually been a really long time. I think
I would imagine so.
I think I just changed everything. I changed my HUD, I changed my senses, like that is not happening again.
Okay. Alright. Next question. Oh, and the last question was by Zydos. So this one by Light. Tips for people that are getting desynced pretty much all the time. I don't know if there's a fix for that one, really.
Okay. Tips for people getting desynced all the time.
Yeah.
Just don't peek.
Just don't peek.
Pretty much. You had to be you had to be really passive. And like, I hate being passive, but that's all there is to it. Do not peek. Like in PMPL, I peeked HQ Chiwang. And I got the headshot and immediately unpeaked, and he headshot me with M24 to desync. And it got us. It's what made HQA push us on that Miramar game.
Oh.
So after that, like, no.
What ping are you playing on, by the way? For
100. Like around 100 to 120.
Oh, so that's actually a little bit on the higher side, I would say. For the average, I would imagine the average for everybody playing is like maybe 60 to 80. I'm not sure.
Actually, no, I think everyone gets about 95 to 120. That's pretty fair. But it's also not fair because we're all NA and it makes no sense to have fair ping.
Oh, they're using the fair ping thing, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That fair ping thing, I'm going to say, isn't always accurate either. There's a huge thing PMPL Americas where fair ping, was in play. But then somebody released a montage of their PMPL clips, and they're in the bottom right, the ping is literally like 40 or something. And that was a huge...
Yeah, I think that was in Americas. That's what started like the whole issue. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what made this PMPL NA only, because of that very issue.
Oh, I wonder if Americas is going to be LAN. That would be dope if it was LAN.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Okay, next question by Cloud once again, and I probably have to... Yeah, I'm going to take a screenshot of this one because he's asking all the tough questions here. All right. Okay, I'll read it out also. Let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. Okay, I can't manually put in the zoom number. This will have to do. Oh, whoops. All right. So thoughts on whether leans are a necessary mechanic to use consistently. Since when pixel leaning right side, only your head shows, granting the enemy more likely headshots on you, while if you don't lean, only your arm and a sliver of your body shows, making it harder to headshot you but easier to body shot. And when left peeking, is it worth it to lean since you have to show most of your body to left peek anyways?
Okay, I actually learned this from Starlight. If he's watching this, Starlight he actually told me that if you actually, this has nothing to do with leaning. Okay,
hold on, I'm getting a notification and it's extremely loud and the chat won't be able to hear you. Sorry. I'm getting Sassy with like a bunch of gifted subs. 10 gifted subs. So we got like 6 more of these notification sounds. So yeah, we'll hold off on that question real quick. Thank you, Sassy, for the 10 gifted subs. I appreciate it. I think we're at 7 now, if I'm not mistaken. JD says bad porn music. Saku's like, how do we turn off the music? Don't ask me, Saku. I think we're on the 9th one or the 10th one. This should be the last one. Oh no, there's one more. I think this is the last one. Literally halted the interview. Yes. Okay. Wait. I hope it's not broken. Pretty sure we were at 10 already. And it's still going. Alright, Saku! Fix it, please. What I can do... Hold on. I'll mute my desktop audio. But I'm gonna have to figure another way real quick to get your voice. Oh, it does 2 noises. Oh, okay. So each tune is 1, or it needs to play 2 tunes to be 1. Okay, well, alright. I have no idea how many we're at right now. Sorry, Tensa.
You're fine. It's okay.
Chat's enjoying this. They're having a good laugh.
Chat is loving this right now.
Yeah. Bro, we are all losing. Oh, okay, we're done.
It's done.
We're done. Okay, Saku, in the meantime, fix it. Sassy, no, don't hide. Thank you, Sass. Thank you, Sass, for supporting the stream. I appreciate it. All right, back to the question. So you're saying you learned this from Starlight?
Yeah. So I'm answering the last question, and then I'll answer the first one. Yeah. So I learned this from Starlight. He essentially said, which first off, it makes absolutely 0 sense to left lane. Just don't do it. It won't benefit you in any way. But if you're going to left full body peek, you have to go into FPP as you do it because it gives you the same POV as it would if you're right peeking.
Okay, one more time. So when you go left lean, you should go into FPP, you said?
No.
Or
do not lean left whatsoever.
Whatsoever. Okay, at all.
If you're going to full body peek to the left, you would want to go into FPP because it gives you the same POV as full body peeking to the right.
Oh, okay.
So essentially, nothing changes. You won't have a disadvantage or anything. Everything just stays the same.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. I was so surprised when Sarah told me this. I was like, shit, I don't mess with FPP enough to know about that. Like, okay.
Okay, so let me break it down and regurgitate it to see if I am understanding it. So left peeking in TPP is notoriously bad because you're forced to peek out more before you could see where your crosshair kind of is to shoot the enemy, right?
Yes.
But that is negated when you go into FPP mode, because in FPP mode, what you see is the same on a left-hand peek and a right-hand peek.
Yeah, pretty much. I also tried it too, so it's true.
Oh, that sounds like way too much mechanical skill work to remember to do. But that's great to know still, nonetheless. And
Yeah,
Xenox is saying, I taught Star this in all caps.
If Xenox taught him that, then you're a nerd, dog. But yeah, thanks. Okay, so, and as for the first part, that's on... Okay, so lanes are actually not a necessary thing to use at all, actually. Especially if you're like playing a tournament where it's laggy, I'd rather just you not use it at all. However, if it's not laggy, I still don't recommend that you use it. Lanes are like only a thing that's necessary for mid to long range battles, either in a tap fight or a full spray fight. However, if it's someone where you're like seeing them making a cross, I would rather you just full body peek it if someone isn't looking at you, because you won't have to compensate with your aim as much. When you lean, you have to compensate with your aim. You have to move it around a bit so that it it's perfectly accurate. So no, it's not necessary at all.
Okay.
But it's convenient, if that makes sense. Not necessary, but convenient sometimes.
I see. And one thing I want to add on just to see if I'm right in thinking this way. So like one thing with leaning in CQC is sometimes you'll get headshotted because you're leaning, right? Versus just strafing out and taking the shots. But I think all of that really comes down to mind games, right? Kind of not being predictable when you do that lean peek, so the enemy just blasts your head, but you want to throw them off with either in a situation where you feel like lean peeking will throw them off or just wide swinging will throw them off, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much a mental game. You wouldn't want to start off with the lean peek because chances that you do that again is pretty high. But if you like, you know, jump peek it, give it a little shots and do it again, and maybe like the third time, actually the second time is enough. He's gonna expect you to do it again. So if you lean peek to the right, like crouch lean or whatever, and you hide just enough of your head so that he doesn't pre-fire it and that stray bullet hits you, it can really decide whether or not you win that fight.
Okay, yeah. So simply put, mechanics in CQC should mostly be focused on the mind game, on when to do certain things, not so much.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Being accurate is cool and all, but you want to focus more on like the mental part.
And that's why you're the best 1v4 player there is. It's all mental games, right? You can't out mechanic 4 players in a row. It's just...
Yeah, why would you try to out mechanic them, dog? That's impossible.
All right, cool.
Unless they're just bad, you just can't. Not even Xenox can, and his mechanics are pretty good.
Okay, next question. Great question, by the way, Cloud. Importance of crouch in CQC and effective movement techniques.
Crouch in CQC should be used the same way that prone is used in CQC, just as like a trump card if you're whiffing shots or if you want to be unpredictable. Because if you're playing like a player like Xenox or I, if we're not already expecting you to crouch, since we're always aiming for your head, that crouch is definitely going to throw us off. That's one thing. The effective movement techniques, the only thing I can really give you about that is changing the way that you strafe. That's a lot to get into, and I can't really explain it unless I'm like physically streaming and showing you, which I did at one point, but I can do it again.
Okay.
What was the other thing? Ways to improve game sense is highly just based on experience and common sense, like what you think, like anything that you do that you believe will allow you to get the kill and not get knocked, as well as being aware. Like if you're just like proning in a building and you think you're safe, that's like zero game sense because you're not actually aware of what's around you. I had this issue with Spec and H as well. They would do certain things and I would spectate them because I'm dead. And I know 1,000% in that situation, I wouldn't have done it because I would already be aware of what was to my left or right or my behind. And, you know, sometimes people aren't looking at them, but like when people are, it's really detrimental to the fight. So it's mainly just based on experience and being extremely aware. Like if you're in a building, look at your windows, look at the stairs, look at like little peaks. I don't know, you could be like pretty paranoid about it. So that's basically what it is.
Okay. So a short way to improve game sense is just be hyper paranoid.
Basically.
Yeah, which if you're super paranoid, you're basically super aware of every little thing going on. So.
Yeah, but don't be so paranoid that you're afraid to do something.
Oh yeah, that is true.
That.
There's a balance. There's always a risk in any type of, you know, play or position you try to hold, right? So you just gotta calculate what's worth it based on the different info and situations coming in.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one by Sparking. What's the difference between strafe and jiggle movement? Upside down smiley face.
I've actually never heard of fucking jiggle movement, and sometimes I see people say jiggle movement, which it's not jiggle, you're basically just strafing really fast.
Yeah.
The only thing you should use jiggle for is jiggle peeking, because that's what it's.
I think when people say jiggle, it's like the strafing in and out of cover really quickly. I think that's when people call it a jiggle.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck jiggle movement is. That just sounds dumb. No,
I feel like there's a really good meme to be made here, right? Just someone standing in the wide open, they're like, this is how you strafe movement. And then they're like, and now this is how you jiggle movement. And it's the same exact shit.
It's literally the same.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he asked that question with the upside down smiley face, so I think he kind of knew there is no real difference. But I like that question. That's a good one. Okay. Nahal 2005 asked, does fingers matter, as most of the competitive players say fingers don't matter, but does it actually matter or not? So I'm guessing like 2-finger, 3-finger, 4-finger type of deal.
Actually, the only finger that matters is 3 fingers. Because 4 fingers doesn't matter, 5 doesn't matter. They're all useless. The only thing that matters is 3, because it allows you to shoot faster with thumbs. Like if you put it to your like right index to shoot, it'll make certain movements a lot easier than it usually would be. So yeah, it matters, but the only thing that matters is 3 fingers, honestly. If you're in comp, using 6 fingers, using 5 fingers is not going to get you anywhere. Like all of what I do, anyone could do with just 3 fingers. So yeah, 3 fingers are the only thing that matters.
Okay, so ultimately it's, you have to go from 2 to 3 at the very least, and then from there on it's just preference.
Yeah, from there on you just shouldn't care about it. Just focus on everything else except that.
Great answer. Okay. So Enigma asks, how short is Tensa?
I'm pretty short, dog. I'm 5'6". I'm your height.
5'6"? Dang.
Everyone knows that though.
5'6" is... Oh, dude. Speaking about being short, I think for me, I literally had 3 of the tallest teammates in the scene on one team together, and I'm a pretty short guy. There's Spring, Carnage, and Wi-Fi. I don't think...
Yeah, bro.
Spring... Okay, Carnage and Wi-Fi, definitely 2 of the tallest. I don't know if Spring comes in 3rd, actually, as being the tallest. There might be another player in the scene that's taller than Spring.
Bro, Spring is only tall because of his neck, dog.
I mean, it adds to the height still. But yeah, shit. I think I pretty much had the tallest teammates out of NA in the scene, all on one team, and I'm a pretty short guy. It would just be better if I was Juicy's height instead, because Juicy is the shortest player, I'm pretty sure, in the NA comp scene. At least one of the like more well-known, like higher tiered NA comp scene players. All right. Next one. Next. Yeah. Enigma. Always a troll, bro. So John Doe asks, where does Tensa hope to use his success as one of the best NA players in PUBG to propel him in the future? What's the next step? Oh, that's a nice one.
I can't essentially tell you what the next step is, but what I have learned a lot from PUBG that I could use within that next step is the fact that it's patience and being able to think through situations extremely fast, especially in high pressure situations. Like if you've noticed, I only really do good or do anything crazy in high pressure situations, because that's when I start to think the best. Even though that seems a little counterintuitive, because you start to shake, you're nervous, etc. But yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Oh, I really like that answer, because so personally for me as a player, right, I kind of pride myself on, because I know my mechanics are limited to a certain degree. Like a really quick way to test that is you know that thing you could play, the reaction test game where you just click the screen where it turns green or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like average or like a little bit below average, and then I see some of these other just insane players from different genres of esports just like hit like 0.8, 0.7 or whatever the fuck number is, their reaction time is much faster. So I pride myself on being able to think quickly and process situations. But my problem is the complete opposite of yours. When I'm under higher stress situations, I know I need to think more, but I choke. So in CQC, I do really bad. But that's where you do the best because you're forced to think. And yeah, that's
you're forced to think at everything at a much quicker rate. But like the downside to that is it only works when I'm in CQC. Like if it's a mid-range fight and I have to think about what to do with every single person just shooting at me, then I'm a little slower than I usually would be. Because I have to pay attention to everything, even though Bay already does that. I mean, technically everyone does that.
Yeah.
But like that's like the only downside. It only works when I'm in CQC because I think better in that situation.
Oh, okay. Well, that kind of leads into the next question, actually. So when you're being shot at by everyone, or to put simply what Ace Raven on the gram asks, best long-range player in North America?
That's a hard question. I think it'd have to be Sixless.
Sixless?
Yeah.
I would have to say Sixless or Sam. Just because Sam has done really well this past Super Weekend, and he's always known to be more of a longer range player. But Sixless is definitely one of those, like, really... I would say Sixless is like the long range version of you. Like, at a distance, he just sees and understands things differently than other players, which is why I think he always manages to somehow snake it into certain zones. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Oh no, another sub. I think I should wait.
Oh, did I? Oh, Rico.
Yeah.
I think Saka might have figured out a way to disable the... Yeah, she disabled it. But Rico Becker with 10 gifted subs. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rico Becker, for supporting the stream. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
I think I would choose Sixless over Sam though, because I know he's known for that, but I've only really seen Sixless really live up to that name, and I guess that's because like I'm not really attentive to Sam. However, when I played with Six and he would make use of like my abilities to push CQC, and he'd tell me, "Hey Tensa, I got you."
Oh,
like
yeah.
99% of the time, that man's really got me. I was like, damn, okay. I literally just trust this guy. So that's, I guess it's being kind of biased, but that's why I choose Sixless.
Okay. Well, experience-wise, yeah, I would have to... Between Sam and Sixless, if I had to pick one, yeah, I would pick Sixless over Sam. Just because he's shown multiple times how reliable of a player he is. Okay. So that's best long-range player NA. I just wanted to throw this one out real quick. Best long-range player in the world, it has to be Paraboy. Somehow that man just always finds the frags in every tournament. No matter what he... It's ridiculous, bro. Like...
No matter what distance, he somehow always gets it. I don't understand.
Yeah, he's got... I feel like he literally probably... The player closest to having radar hacks naturally without actually hacking would have to be Paraboy, because he will just pick up the frags no matter where they are. A nice little story I want to add on to that. The very first China tournament where Cloud9 went, right? And Cloud9 actually did pretty good. They were, I think, 4th place overall. Yeah, 4th place overall. At the end, the other teams are all Chinese. But Uneven told me, like, there was a game where... Uneven's like on high ground just watching this area, and it's a rotation circle, so people rotating everywhere. He sees someone gets knocked out of a car, and the whole entire time Uneven is watching this happen, right? So the second that player gets knocked out of the car, Uneven is already looking at that player and ready to thirst him, and then the next thing he knows, it gets thirsted by Paraboy from God who knows where, right? So
Paraboy is extremely accurate, and what I'm focusing on for this PMPL and Americas, while also not disturbing my CQC, is to be extremely accurate at stealing kills, which has been working a little bit, assuming since I'm like top fragger for this Super Weekend, which makes no fucking sense. But like, I guess that means it's working.
Yeah.
So that's my main focus as of now.
I think that is one aspect of NA that is maybe lacking a little bit. Like, we just shoot at everything the second we see it, but not enough players think to maybe shoot the first 10, 20 bullets at a, target driving by, and then conserving the rest, knowing that, hey, I noticed this guy's getting shot at by other teams. There's a good chance he's going to get knocked out, or he's forced to stop his car and hop out. And then that's when I start shooting the rest of my bullets or something like that. I don't see enough players maybe thinking that way, or even being aware of that being a way to secure the kill versus just spraying the whole clip, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Next question by Prono. How is playing with Bayo as IGL different from the other IGLs you have played with?
Bayo is I guess he's like the IGL version of me when it comes to CQC. That's all I have to really say. I haven't heard any IGL. Actually, maybe Sixes too, because since I played with him. But other than those two, I haven't heard any IGL that was like Bayo when it comes to IGLing in general. He's so technical about explaining everything, just like I am with CQC. So it's really different.
Dang, that's the perfect combo right there. Yeah, Bayo always known for his IGL. I remember the first time I played with Bayo was for Gangstars, right? And going into Dubai, I just remember the way he approached the game. I'm just like, bro, didn't this game just like come out? Like, how the fuck do you like? I'm probably wrong, but a rough comparison. Bayo's IGL skills back then, when we first started, was like equivalent to my IGL skills when I led Omen to Malaysia. So, but for Bayo, that's kind of where his skills were already at the very beginning of the scene, and I can't imagine how much better it's gotten since then, especially with just the meta evolving. I'm sure Bayo's adapting really fast to like his
he's really quick at adapting, really quick.
Yeah, and I see the rotations you guys make, and I'm just literally, there are times where I'm just so jealous. I'm just like, bro, if I was put in that position by Bayo, such an easy game. Like, I have so much of my work cut out for me simply because of just the rotations you guys do. It's just so good. And it also helps that you guys rotate really fast and early. You guys have a set timing. Like, you guys don't fuck around. And no one wants to fuck with you at, like, Pachinki and Picado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next question by True Jello. Okay, I think we kind of answered this one already, so I'll say it if there's something you want to touch on, but you can. But if it's already kind of been answered, we could pass. So True Jello is saying, what are the basic movement techniques that you utilize and their strengths and weaknesses? And the second follow-up question is, what are some ways that you could put yourself in an advantageous position when taking a fight?
Okay, the only thing I can touch upon for the first question is it has a lot of strength, but the only weakness is using it too much, and that's about it. Okay. Using it too much for wrong situations, since I already like said the techniques. For the second one, you can't. This is relative to the tweet I made, which I plan to go into like at the end of the interview. But basically, it's the same when taking a 1v4 or any kind of fight. You want to be in a position where all 2 or 3 other positions are relevant to your position so you can get the pick. That's how you have to think about it when you want to be in an advantageous position when taking a fight.
Okay. And you're gonna go into more detail at the end, right? This was one of the topics. Okay, perfect. Because I actually want to hear more from that. We had our brief interaction on Twitter, and I roughly understand where you're coming from, but I would love to hear you break it down more. Okay. Let's finish up this Q&A though. We got some more questions coming in. We might cut it off at some point, but next one after True Jello Exhibit. This one hasn't been asked yet, and I'm curious to see your thoughts, but does practicing aim assist off make a huge difference in your gameplay?
No, it actually doesn't. If you're gonna practice with aim assist off, I'd rather you just keep it off. But if you're using it as pure practice only to turn aim assist on, don't, because it'll mess up your aim.
Okay.
Because certain things that you're already used to on aim assist with aim assist off, you won't be used to when it's on. So it's useless.
So it's like just playing. It's the equivalent of just playing with like a different device almost, right? Like it's just different with it on versus off.
Yeah, pretty much.
It doesn't translate any type of skills or whatnot, really.
Nothing. Doesn't translate a thing.
Okay. Cool. That's good to know, because that's what I always thought. So I never fucking bother with turning it off.
Yeah, I tried it for a while in tournaments and shit, and it didn't really make a difference other than messing up my aim a little bit.
Okay. Starlight has the next question. Will Tensa do a hand cam video or explain how he grips his phone? I feel like that is so underrated, like how people grip their phones, and over time I've realized how important it is and how much it affects. And then also, at which range do you hip fire with thumb, and at which range do you use gyro? So aiming with your thumb versus gyro.
Okay, so the first one, I do plan on doing that very soon. As for how I grip my phone, I think I'll just explain that in the video too, but I've used like all different kind of grips. Like I've copied Xenox's grip. I think I copied your grip at one point. I also tried thumbs for a little bit, but I'm never doing that again. So then I tried 5 and 6 fingers. So yeah, I can get into that in a video once I show the hand cam.
Okay.
As for which range, technically you only want to... this is actually a little bit of a hard question. Technically you would want to hit fire with your thumb at a longer distance than you would with gyro. It sounds weird, but this goes into something that I kind of argued with Bayo a little bit.
Okay.
I basically told Bayo that if you don't use gyro, you're more accurate than if you use gyro in CQC. And I say that because if you're not using gyro, your aim assist is a lot less carefree with gyro off than it is with it on, because it's just a straight line that you're shooting into while controlling recoil. It's like if you jump shot with gyro off, it's more common that you're gonna hit all 3 of those headshots in mid-air than if you did it with gyro.
Okay, I get that one, because I'm imagining your crosshair is just locked on, right? Because
your crosshair is locked on the entire time. With with gyro, your crosshair is kind of like shaky a little bit to the left, whatever, and maybe like you're shaking or whatever. So it kind of ruins that a little bit.
Okay.
But to answer that, which is why if you're using gyro and you want to hit fire at a longer distance, you would have to keep your phone extremely still while using your thumb to trace, because then it mimics having gyro off. But if you're really like a little bit more closer than a longer distance, you would want to use gyro. But if you're extremely close, then obviously use your thumb, because gyro isn't fast enough.
Right. Okay, so like 20 to 30 meters, you're saying at that distance, you're saying you should use your thumb.
Yeah, you would want to like mimic not having gyro.
Not having gyro. I see. I kind of see what you're saying. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. That's definitely food for thought for people who really want to get into it. All right. So next question by Foodie. What do you do to pick yourself up when you feel like you aren't performing well? Do you grind more hours on the game, or you take time off to avoid burnout?
I actually grind until burnout. Like if something happens to me in a tournament that I know I could have prevented it, I will probably spend the entire night playing the game, trying to figure out why I did what I did and how I could fix it. And that's about it.
Dang.
So I play until burnout, but I don't really get burnout. So I guess it's, yeah, I don't know.
You just keep going until you think you fixed it, basically.
Until I 1000% figure out. I don't stop until I figure it out. If I don't figure out, it makes me extremely mad, like to the point of like a potential breakdown. But that's just like how I am. So
damn.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
What's crazy to think about is that it's also, you approach this game in such a mental way that I'm imagining most of this figuring things out is like from a mental perspective too, not just you hitting the training room and getting that, you know, super nice mechanic down, but more so.
Yeah, most of my training is done mentally. Actually, I don't go on the game often. I like replay the clip in my head, and I keep replaying until I figure out different situations and things like that. It's like, it's too deep, honestly.
Too deep. Well, okay. Well, since you brought this up, so I've been coaching a team, right? And obviously, the way I coach the team is from personal experience on what helps me the most. And what I've been teaching my team for my Japan team is they're struggling in CQC right now. They're not comfortable with it. And something I told them is whenever you're struggling in CQC, if you could, you know, play that, you know, play those moments back in your head or clip it and watch it back yourself. I tell them the one thing to mainly focus on is how they're feeling at the time. And if they can mimic that feeling in their head and try to draw it up when they're not under pressure and get used to it, so that the second that feeling creeps into them in an actual tournament or an actual situation, their brain will recognize it and try and snap them out of it. So then they can start just thinking more clearly and processing things more clearly. So that's the majority of my mental training that I'm doing, because CQC is my weak point. So I don't know.
That's actually a really good way to think about it, actually. I thought about it like that at one point. Like it's confidence, right? That's basically all it is.
Yeah, that's basically essentially.
Yeah, that's a really good way to think of it, because I have an issue with confidence. Like, even though I know I'm a good gunner.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Even though I know I'm a good gunner, I hate getting knocked. Like, you have no idea how bad I hate getting knocked. I might not rage like Carnage or anything like that, but I hate it like to the core. So it fucks up my confidence, and it makes me not want to push things in fear that I will get knocked. So when you think about it like that, lately I've been like getting rid of it slowly by slowly, which is why I'm getting my kills more out there. But yeah, that's a really good way to think about it.
Okay, so what was your way? You said you didn't want to get too into it because there's too much, but if there's a rough approach, kind of how I explained mine, is there one you could say real quickly about how you usually do your mental training?
The way I do it is actually like in scrims or tournaments. I don't like get off the game or go into training room. The way I do it is like, if you're gonna push something and you think it's going to happen to you, you need to focus everything mental on it not happening. So like, you're kind of like half focusing on the game, half focusing on your head.
Oh, okay.
But like, yeah, it's like, it's a 50-50 thing. But like, as long as you're paying attention, like as long as you know where the person is while you're thinking about it, you'll eventually like overcome it within that second, and then you just push it. Or you just simply don't give a fuck and hope that your CQC is up to par, which you would also have to have confidence in.
Right.
So.
Okay, I see. So Exhibit, next question asks, talk about your training schedule. I think it's just your scrim schedule, right? That's all you really do training-wise?
Yeah, I don't do any training. I guess the only type of training I do is TDMs without sound. That's it.
Okay. TDMs without sound. So that's just to improve your raw reaction.
Timing.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Nice. Next one is so we're back to the layout question. Kid Trav asks, talk about the difference between layout 1, 2, and large icons, and why can't you copy the first preset onto the third preset? Oh, you can't. That sucks.
I've already answered the first part of that question. I will answer the second. Obviously, I don't know the coding of this game, but technically the more common reason is because first preset copy HUDs should only go to a first preset, and third should only go to third. Because of the way that one left side of the first preset is movement, and the other right side of the third preset is, first preset is look around.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense for you to base your controls off of that and then going to the third preset and make it like that again, because then you'll just miss your fucking joystick.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way. That's why you can't copy it.
Okay. Vici asks, could you ask him what he has learned from tweaking the joystick sizes / placement? I think we touched on that already. You could give a quick answer.
We did touch on that. Basically, I guess the main thing I've learned is you can do different strafe patterns and rhythms with a bigger joystick than you can with a smaller joystick. That's basically like the main thing.
Okay. Prono, next question. How was the Ghost team formed? Oh, I'm actually curious about that. So before you guys got... Well, actually, you, Spec, and H have always been on a team for quite a while. So what was the prospect and, like... What was it like when you guys were in talks of, like, trying to get Bayo and when C9 disbanded and all of that happened?
Actually, we weren't... I'm not going to say too much, but we weren't in talks of actually getting Bayo. Bayo actually wanted me on his team.
Okay.
So there was... If C9 stayed, there could have been, like, a probability that I would have left Tempo for Bayo.
Oh, okay.
And taken H with me at some point, maybe. Not sure.
Okay.
But basically, after C9 left, Bayo just decided, oh, I'll just make a team with Tensa, and that was it.
Okay. Nice.
Because... He said I was like the only real player that he actually wanted to play with, and that's only because Caitlyn vouched for me when I was in Jovi.
Oh yeah, that's so throwback. I remember I was gonna get you on my team, but you were so good, and at the time we were just like, you were so unknown that we were just like,
you thought I was on iPad. I was like, let me prove myself in Jovi.
Yeah.
And I'll do it.
Yeah, like literally at that time you were just way too good. It was like unbelievably good, and you were so unknown. And I was like, shit, dude. Like, I really want him, but I don't know. Like, and that iPad was an issue at the time too. There were so many iPad players. Like,
yeah, that's why. I do want to point out something that your chat is saying. Spec actually isn't replaceable at all. It's just at the time it was after World League, and there was like a lot of issues that I saw with Spec that I didn't think that I thought it would take him too long to fix. So I just figured it would be best to go with H rather than be annoyed at Spec and gets mad at Spec all the time. But that didn't end up happening, and Spec ended up fixing his mistakes. So like I really like Spec. He still has it, but he's working really hard. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, shout outs to Specs. I think Spec, if I don't know too in detail what his problems are, because obviously you only find that out when you play with a player for a long time, but I know for a fact when he plays well, he plays really well.
That is 100% true. He has grown a lot.
Yeah, so shout outs to Spec in the chat. I remember I dubbed Spec like Jason or something from the horror movie, because I think there was a tournament I was casting where he 1v4'd a team 2 times in like 2 days, or it was like the same day or something. I forgot, but he just fucking was like running kids over. Okay. All right. Next question. We're almost done. Oh, I actually kind of want to add on a little bit to the whole Ghost thing. What do you think about Ghost, like when they approached you, were you like, oh, dope, Ghost Gaming, or was it just like,
I think
was there
we're
a
the ones that approached
celebration
them.
or what?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, so it's like for some people, like Ghost Gaming, if they were approached by Ghost Gaming, they're like, oh my god, it's Ghost Gaming. But you used to be you were on Tempo, which is also a really respectable org. So like, was it just an easy transfer, or was there like any hype, or like, what were your thoughts when Ghost came to you guys?
There was hype, but no offense to you guys, I love you guys, but we thought we were gonna get ghosted.
Oh.
But yeah, we ended up not getting ghosted, so it was like really good.
Okay, yeah. I did get ghosted before by Ghost, but they're actually under a completely different management than
That is true.
than before. Yeah. So there were issues with the previous Ghost management, because obviously not just with my experience from PUBG Mobile, but there's a reason why they changed out their. I actually don't know the details too much, so hopefully I'm not speaking out my ass, but if another group of people came over to take over Ghost, there was a problem with the previous management. So
yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah, so your apprehensiveness is definitely warranted, but yeah, they have a new team, and hopefully, they're here to stay. I may as well disclose something since I'm pretty sure at this point I can. When we were in Dubai as Execute, we were actually going to get signed on with Ghost, and like I had to be real with the team. I hate that I had to like basically I kind of like do this to Fate, Fame Boys, and Killswitch, but like at the same time, almost when we were just starting to talk with Ghost, I got the Japan team offer, and it was just like, dude, moving to Japan, playing in a completely new country, and to be quite frank, most people already know, the Japan League is huge. Like, their prize pool is fucking huge, and it's more franchise, and they have a minimum salary amount, which was going to be way more than what NA can provide. And so I had to turn down the Ghost offer, and essentially Ghost had to just like take a step back and wait for another good team or whatnot. And I'm actually so happy that they ended up getting you guys at the end, because to be honest, you guys as a team has way more potential and better than what Fate, me, and Killswitch and Fame Boys were working with. But I mean, we were still a good team, but obviously not like you guys right now. So yeah,
y'all did really good.
Yeah, we tried. It was an experience. Our failure, to put simply, was lack of experience and a high competitive pressure situation. Not so much we didn't know what to do, or individually our players were lacking. That wasn't the case at all. It was a completely new experience for a lot of the guys, and that's what we struggled with the most.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Okay, we got 4 questions left. I'm gonna cut it off at these 4, and then you could go into what you wanted to. So the next one by Tricky is, how do you guys improve team communication and trust?
Okay. I mean, we've already had trust because, we're technically still the same team. It's just Beowulf.
Yeah.
I've already had some synergy with Beowulf in the past when I was trying out for, I think, supervillains.
You tried out for supervillains?
Yeah, but Kato called me trash because I did trash, and that was true. I did do trash. So
Kato, imagine Kodo calling Tensa trash. That's a laugh. No offense to Kodo, but I mean, chat would have to agree.
We already had the synergy with team communication and trust. I already trust Spec and H, and when Bayo came onto the team, I technically already trusted Bayo because of his reputation, and because I already knew that he's capable of making extremely good decisions. So, yeah, the trust was already there. It wasn't hard to trust Bayo. It wasn't hard not to trust Bayo at all.
Okay, nice. All right. Next one. What is Tensa's most memorable 1v4, and if any, and why?
So I remember a lot of my 1v4s and 1v3s, but my most memorable is actually the Trovo League one, because that's the first time I've ever done something like that for a win.
Okay. I actually can't recall that. Do you know where you could find that clip real quick? And even for the viewers in chat.
League?
Yeah, for Trovo League.
It was on Twitter. You saw it
It's
already.
on Twitter?
Yeah, you showed it.
Oh, that one.
Fate? Yeah,
Oh.
UFC and Fate, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think of that as a 1v4 because you wiped out 2 teams. That's like more than a 1v4. But okay, yeah, that one was pretty nuts.
Yeah, so that's my main one.
Okay. Okay, ask Tenso, what's the best sense for iPhone 8 Plus?
I actually can't tell you what the best sense is, but I would prefer that you go with a not too high sense because it's better for, in general, for CQC, for you to rock a low to mid range sense. In general, so that's the only thing I can really tell you about the 8 Plus.
Okay.
Which works for any other phone as well.
All right. Next one, and this will be the last. I guess we'll go with Crimson's question too, since he just put it in. How old?
Wait, pause.
Yeah. Sound like a fire alarm going off.
Yeah, I think there's some smoke downstairs. I think it's fixed though. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. How old is Tensa? Is he currently in college? If yes, what is he studying, and how does he balance his schedule?
I'm 18, not in college, but I do help my father with his business. I want to be a neurologist though. Balancing my schedule isn't hard at all. So if I were to get into that, I wake up really early. I actually don't sleep a lot. So I wake up really, really early, and it doesn't affect me at all. So as far as balancing my schedule, it wouldn't be an issue.
Okay. So what is your schedule right now? We know you have PUBG. You mentioned you work out twice a day. Is there anything else you have like scheduled in for yourself throughout the day, or is that like the main 2 things?
No, I do schoolwork, Chinese class as well, and
Chinese class.
Yeah, and then I just read. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Oh, you read. You spend your free time reading.
Reading. Yes, sir.
Dang. What a absolute 200 IQ brain you must have.
I need to add streaming into that since I'm contracted to do that now. So I'll figure that out later.
Oh, bro. People would love to watch your streams. Like, easy. Hands down. What do you read? Since you mentioned you read.
It actually doesn't matter what book it is as long as it's not boring. Mainly like fantasy and science.
Fantasy and science. Ooh, okay. So when you say science, are we talking about like sci-fi since you mentioned fantasy, or are we talking about like science?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little bit of science to like more so on like the coding side of things, because I have a lot of books with that.
Okay. Okay. Big brain. Super big brain over here. I'm known to have people regard me as like one of the more brainy players in the scene, and I don't even read, bro. I'll be honest. I need to get started with just reading in general, because you see it everywhere, right? People saying, all the like big gurus or smart ass fucking people or successful people are always mentioning, yeah, you need to read. I read books and whatnot, and it's like, fuck, I should start doing that. Okay.
My mom made me read a lot as a kid, so now it's just habit. I used to hate it, but now I don't really care.
Okay. So, okay. Last one. Very last one for Crimson. Can't get my question, but like, what's the vibe for a PUBG and... PUBG New State. So you've seen the trailer, right? For PUBG New State. What are your initial like reactions, thoughts, feelings on it?
I think it looks cool. I do feel like the mechanics look a little too weird. Like it feels like a Fallout. It looks like Fallout movement. Is it Fallout? You know
Maybe
that
Gears of
third
War.
person? Yeah, Gears of War. Yeah, I
Yeah,
meant
okay,
that.
that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, it looks like that. So it's weird, but I don't think it's too bad. I think it'll be a fun game to play.
Yeah, okay. Let's just play the trailer real quick for the people who haven't seen it. So this is PUBG New State. Some background info for everybody if they don't know. And I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. So the people who are making this game is the original developers of PUBG. And where PUBG Mobile comes into all this, like the relation is Tencent simply kind of bought the mobile licensing rights for PUBG and developed it. So PUBG New State is not going to be Tencent affiliated, and it's being made by the actual core developers that made PUBG. So it's going to be a really good game still, but it'll just be in competition with Tencent, unless if Tencent just throws money at this and buys it over. This game looks sick.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I actually love the over-the-shoulder Gears of War vibe. I don't know, it just makes it look intense.
Yeah, it actually does.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the sights, so it looks a little too futuristic for me.
No.
I don't really like futuristic games.
This is like if Gears, Call of Duty, and PUBG had a game together, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
I actually am so in love with that. The like third person over the shoulder zoom in when you're like ADSing. Like there is obviously an ADS feature completely because we saw that earlier too, but this just looks sick right here.
I think that would be perfect for CPC fights, honestly. Especially when you spam it. That would be perfect. Because it gives the same movement as fully ADSing, but most of your vision isn't blurred out either. Or like, yeah.
What sucks is we have no idea when this is coming out.
Yeah, that's true. We don't.
So it could be a whole nother year, like who knows. So they are pushing this first as a mobile game. And I was watching PGI, which is the huge like PC PUBG tournament that just happened. Shout outs to Sonics, an NA team winning a global championship. So like NA, that's like big because we rarely win anything globally when it comes to esports. But they played this ad at the end of the PGI stream, or like in the intermissions of PGI. And it's funny to me because this ad is a mobile ad, but they're playing it for all the PC viewers. So I think mobile is like the move for the developers right now. They realize how much money there is to be made in mobile as compared to PC.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's gonna be really big soon. A lot of people are thinking that, or at least the big people. Not, the more influential people are thinking that.
Okay, and I think that was the last question. All right, so you want to talk a little bit more about, is there like a Twitter clip I should pull up in particular that you want to deep dive on, or how do you want to do this?
There's nothing that you can pull up, but I did stream at one point. I can't tell you what stamp it was, but actually, let me just see if it's still there. It's probably still there. In this clip, I died, but after I died, I realized it could be the perfect explanation for what I'm about to tweet.
Okay.
So,
all right. So while you're pulling that up, let's plug Tensa's socials real quick. So you're gonna get back into streaming. Are you gonna be on all the platforms, or are you like
gonna do Trovo.
Only Trovo? Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Let's get Tensa's Trovo. I'm gonna copy paste that into my chats.
Well, it does look like nope, not quite.
What's your Trovo? Just Tensa.
Yeah, it's just Tensa.
Just Tensa.
Nothing else.
Okay. Oh, looks like I wasn't following you. All right. So Tensa will be streaming on Trovo. Not sure exactly when, but just follow him and then you'll be notified. And also his Twitter, Tensa FPS. And good luck reaching him on Discord because he changes Discord like every day or something. And you have an Instagram too. Let me pull up your Instagram for everyone. So Instagram, Twitter, Trovo. Anything else you want me to just put on the radar for people that are watching?
No, I think everything else is fine. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I wasn't following you on Instagram either. Oof. All right.
Oh wait, okay, I actually found the clip. Okay,
Nice.
so
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Do you follow Valorant any?
Yeah, I do watch Valorant.
You watch it? Do you? So I drew a comparison between you and Tens because you and him both.
Oh, I saw you say that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. What are your thoughts on that? Like the fact that you change your sensitivity all the time and like.
I feel like it would be more detrimental to do that on PC because of the nature of how a mouse is, and I'm surprised he actually does that a lot.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's actually also refreshing too because, like, even though I do it a lot, I know it's really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But like the way I look at it is, I'm really quick to adapt to whatever I change to, and at the end of the day, if I get bodied, I have my excuse. I was using it. So I just think it's really cool that we have the same name, and he technically does what I do. So that's really nice.
Yeah. It's nice to see another big successful player do the same thing, right? So you're not second guessing
Yeah,
yourself, like, am I doing this correctly? But I think, yeah, it just shows your adaptability. If I had to do a quick input on that, I think since you're so adaptable, right, you're almost going to be good on every sense to a degree. So it's just all about somehow finding the best sense. And that just requires constant changing almost.
Yeah, I even tried to actually test it. I think I used some random Indian player's sense on YouTube, and I went into a scrim with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really high and really annoying to play with, but at the end of the day, I still did really good with it. So I was like, yep, okay. I don't really need to worry about not adapting or anything.
Okay, all right. So the timestamp 1:21:44.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just play it from here, and then we'll get to that point eventually. So you're just doing solo versus squads, right? For bootcamp hot drops?
Yeah, the fight happens in the firing range.
That was a nice target change and focus right there before you died.
Yeah, so right there, you can pause it.
Okay.
So when I died like that and I made my tweet, basically what I was saying is, at that point, I was thinking, okay, who's more likely to kill me? Even though it wasn't a 1v4, it was a 1v2, but I already knew the guy that just killed me right now. I already knew that he was going to push me no matter what.
Right.
So when I changed targets, I changed it because I knew that pillar was there, and as you can see, I merely just backwalked right into the pillar, so that the guy that was originally shooting me wouldn't see me anymore. so I could kill his teammate because I know his teammate would be the one to shoot me in the back.
Right.
So basically, like, the whole point of that tweet is if you're in a 1v4 situation or 1v2 or 1v3 and you can hear exactly what's going on and what they plan on doing, you have to make a mental note on which position is going to be the most irrelevant to your position. So in that situation, if you're by the pillar, I know the pillar covers me, so that guy is completely irrelevant. I don't give a fuck about him anymore. But his teammate isn't because he can shoot me in the back and sees me purely, which is why I switched like that. In other situations, you can do it like on broken walls as well. Let's say you're on a broken wall, you're getting pushed from like two sides.
Yeah.
Two sides of the broken wall. If the guy to your left is closer to you at pushing, and there's also a guy to your right that's pushing, you can position yourself along the broken wall to the point where the guy on your right won't see your body at all. But you'd be able to kill the guy on your left. And then at that point, you just have to, like, you know, take jump peek fights or whatever like that. So at that point, you have to be extremely aware of what's going on. You have to be able to, like, completely block someone out from what you're doing. Not paying attention to them at all. I saw him. I saw where his team was going. I saw the pillar. I backed up into it, completely ignored his teammate. Didn't give a fuck about him anymore.
Yeah.
And that's why in situations like that, when you're playing against pro players, they're like, oh, let's surround him and stuff like that. So they're expecting you to focus on the imminent player that's shooting at you right now, which was the guy that I was occasionally focusing.
Right.
They're not going to think, oh, he's already waiting for me to come. He's staring at my window right now. And the teammate that I was originally fighting, he's not going to say, oh, he's looking your way. He's still thinking that I'm fighting him.
Right.
But I'm actually not. So as long as you can do things like that, it doesn't matter if your CQC is terrible. As you can see, it didn't take any effort to kill him. I just had to aim and shoot.
Yeah.
Your CQC doesn't have to be good or anything. You just have to be able to know when to switch targets immediately and then get the flick afterwards. That's all it comes down to.
Okay. So it's like a... So from what I'm gathering, it's like a two-step process. First, it's the prioritizing which target, right? Which fight to take, and then the second part is the mental game you touched on. Like the player you focused on was not expecting you to be focusing him, and so you managed to technically knock that player with the least amount of risk of losing HP, right? Because he was the least ready to fight you. And then you change. Okay.
Yeah, so basically it's actually a three-step process. It's prioritizing, deprioritizing, and then mental.
Okay.
So I prioritized his teammate because it was closest to me and there's no way he could have came from my back. Then the positions changed, so I deprioritized him, forgot all about him, while still knowing he was there, and then focus on his other teammate. But I couldn't get the flick in time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, something I want to add on to this, and is I also have been teaching this to the Japanese team, is like when you as a player, you can only do so much, right? And players choke and mess up when they try to think and do too many things. So if you're able to, like you said, prioritize and make it simple in your head, because the simpler the better, right? Because you can only do so much as one player. So here, this was great to see. Like, got two guys coming in at you. You can't, shoot them both or do crazy flicks onto both because, chances are you'll die either way. So simply put, it's just like, all right, I'll take a 1v1 where I can. And with the layout, with hearing the audio cues and prioritizing which 1v1 you want to take, this is it. And you made it look so clean and just basic, right? Back up into the wall, ignore the other guy, take this 1v1. Okay, done. Now I take the next 1v1.
Yeah. This is also something that I told Xenox. We were doing 1v2 TDMs, so I could like help him with that. And I was basically telling him, if you know that you're getting surrounded, you have no choice but to take a 1v1 or 1v2. Do you know that that clip where it was Sandhawk and I think it was Jagger was with us. It was WSC tournament. I'm not sure if you watched that. But basically
probably, maybe not.
Yeah, we were pushing into Tatmok and EFC was there, and as we were pushing in, H was already dead, but Spec got knocked.
H was already dead.
Spec got knocked,
Okay.
and Jagger and I was already in a safe position, but because of, I think, what H said, Jagger decided to move out of that and go revive Spec while he's like still coming down from being in the open.
Okay.
And he got knocked too.
Right.
So at this point, I was near a warehouse in those tank things, and there was 2 of EFC to my right, 1 to my left, and another far off. But I didn't know he was far off, so I just thought it was 2-2 left and right.
Okay.
So I just decided I'd take the 1v2 with the ones to my right, which was Spring and Fears. And if it wasn't for Fears backing off, I would have won the 1v2 because Fears was 10 HP, and I would have turned on the guy that peeked me from a different angle, and all that was left would have been to kill Coops, 1v1 Coops. So when you think of it like that, it doesn't matter how bad you are or how good you are, you need to be the one who initiates. You cannot let them initiate on you. You have to take that 1v2 or 1v1.
I see. Or you could bait a player into thinking they're initiate. Or no, I'm thinking back to that Sandhawk clip you just showed me, right? You didn't necessarily play aggro there, but you prioritize the target in a way where it's like they didn't know you were getting aggro on them in a sense because they weren't ready to shoot you. You could also do it that way, if possible, right?
Yeah, that's true, but it also really depends on your cover. That's what it really depends on. I knew I could do that because of my cover.
Right.
However, in the situation I'm mentioning,
yeah,
my cover was all around me and I was in the center. So even if I were to do that, they can basically just
surround
spam
you.
where it was. Yeah, and just shoot for no actual reason, not actually push me.
Right.
So it's really dependent on your cover. You have to, I guess you really just have to prioritize your cover more than anything while getting the kill. I guess I could show you. Hold on. This will be like the last example.
Okay. All right, chat. How's everyone enjoying this interview so far? I plan on doing interviews with other players too. I have another 2 lined up for Thursday, so mark that on your calendars, so to say. But I'm by the way, I'm super happy that you agreed to doing this interview. It actually means a lot to me that you're like, yeah, sure thing, Zoo. Like, I'll hop on and talk about stuff. So thank you, Tensa, for coming on.
Of course, dog. I love talking about stuff like this. Okay, so I can't really show you a clip, but imagine it like this.
Okay. I could draw it on a map. So
yeah, you can actually draw it.
Okay.
Go to like a random map or something. I'll tell you what to draw.
Do you want to do the Tatmok one that you just talked about, or you want to just talk
do the Tatmok.
Okay. All right.
I think Tatmok has like broken walls or something.
Yeah.
Oh wait, my bad. Okay, it wasn't Tatmok, it was Ka.
Yeah. Cow? Okay.
Yeah, move up to Ka.
Where cow? I'm having a brain
Yeah,
fart. It was just
like
north of Tatmok.
Yeah.
I'm like having a brain fart right now. Okay.
Okay, so you see those little outline things that look like they're broken walls or something?
Southeast, southwest, where?
Yeah, it doesn't matter any kind.
Oh,
Yeah,
just any.
preferably the
Okay.
south part of Kao.
Okay.
If you could just like circle one side of it.
Okay.
Yeah, you should probably screen share while you're at it because the stream is a little bit delayed for me, so it
Right.
takes some time before I see what you're doing.
Okay. Screen sharing right now.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so do a symmetrical line straight down it, like the middle part.
Okay.
No. Down the circle. So that it splits it in
okay.
half.
Splits it in half. Okay, got it.
Okay, so imagine that green part is the broken part of the wall, right? And you're in the middle of that green part.
Okay.
There's two different guys. Actually, no, we'll make it not impossible. There's one guy on each side, right?
Okay.
And both of them are pushing you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in a broken wall, your body is obviously too big to just stay there and wait for them to push you. They'll obviously chip damage off you.
Yeah.
So what you would want to do is you'd want to take the 1v1 on the left side of the wall and get that, because then the guy on the right no longer sees you. That's a easy explanation because at this point you're not in his POV.
Mm-hmm.
Another point would be like if you're in a door, right?
So you're saying you should push towards the guy on the left to get that 1v1 isolated quicker, right?
Yeah, technically it's preference. You could push whichever guy is just whichever guy you prefer to push. Maybe if you like know their outfit and know their CQC, then that's what you would base it on.
Mm-hmm.
But then let's try if it's in a compound. So you see a little bit like northwest of your line, that long building.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
Circle. Okay.
Yeah, that one. So circle that. So obviously it has two doors on each side, right?
Yeah.
What you would want to do is, let's say you're cornered. There's three guys on your side, and there's another guy on the opposite side. Actually, yeah, three guys on your side, another guy on the opposite side. And maybe, there's windows too. I don't know that compound too much. Mm-hmm. But one of the two other guys is peeking through that window, right?
Okay.
You would want to position yourself inside the door, essentially, so that you get the first pick off of the guy pushing you into the window, assuming the door is unbreakable. Okay. So once you do that, one of them are forced to jump into a window, and then you kill him, and then the other two that was right close to you, he has to push into the door. So at that point, you close the door. You no longer have cover, but he's the last one, so you kill him too. So it's basically just, as long as you know everyone's position and the type of cover you have, you can play around any type of cover. It doesn't matter if it's thin, too thick. It's better if it's too thick, but if it's thin, it doesn't matter. You just play around it. You have to know how to play around it.
I see. It takes a whole lot of processing power, though, to not just... Yeah, I know in this situation, a lot of players just default to just swinging out, hip firing, winning that 1v1, and then they're like 20 HP though, right?
Yeah, the whole point of doing this is you don't want to get your HP chipped off of you. Any bullet hits you, it takes away like 10% of your... You don't want that. That's the whole point of doing things like that.
That's so difficult to do, though. Definitely easier said than done, but that's why so many people are just like, Tensa's a god, right? You're one of the best players at being able to process this and do this at the same time in a stress situation.
Yeah, and honestly, it depends on like the type of stress. For me, if it's not too stressful, my hands won't shake. But then if it's really stressful, my hands will really shake, and my hands are really stable. Like in that clip on the Twitter versus EFC, if you heard the comms, I literally said it was stressful, and that's because I was shaking so much. Like I genuinely thought that I was gonna lose that, but I had to stay calm.
Dang.
It's literally so stressful.
Hold on, let's play. I'm gonna play the. Does this one have your comms in it?
Yeah, it's under it. It's like if you click on the post.
Oh, okay, under
I
it.
see under it. Yeah.
Okay, let's listen to the comms real quick. I don't think I listened to this one yet. The one with comms.
Yeah, you probably didn't. No.
Didn't know you're there.
You try to snake this out.
Definitely don't.
You're really good.
Should I kill him?
Kill him, kill him. Yeah, do it.
One more.
One more.
Nice. Okay, 1v1v1. Maybe.
You have 12 bullets.
He could be nading. I had a nade on him, box.
Oh,
Oh my god,
easy,
dude.
Easy. That's your clip right there. That's your clip.
That's the clip.
That's the clip right there.
That's the clip, dog.
Jesus Christ,
Let's
man.
go. Let's go.
Woo. Nice.
Yeah, okay.
Oh my god, dude. Bro, my heart was fucking beating. That was stressful. Holy
Shit, bro. I heard that.
My heart was beating.
God damn.
I heard that shit, bro.
Oh my god.
He doesn't know how to feel, bro.
What's going on Twitter, dog? I don't know how to feel.
Let's go.
I don't know how to feel.
I was shaking. I didn't even want to talk, but I was talking. It was too much.
Damn, dude. Easy. Tensa the GOAT.
Yeah, so that's pretty much about it. That's how I think about things.
Well, dude, thank you for coming on, man. Obviously, PMPL in full effect, and you guys are looking great. Yeah, I'm rooting for you guys. I already told the stream that overall, I think you guys will take the dub at the very end. Maybe get a few chicken dinners in so you get, like, you know, that small cash 1K doesn't hurt, right?
Bro, honestly, I'm tired of not getting Zone Blessed. I want to be Zone Blessed just once, and I'll be content.
And yeah, I'm gonna do a video breakdown so far on the weekend where I'm gonna just pretty much analyze, like, you guys are actually not getting too many zone blesses, like not as much as you should, like even from a statistical RNG standpoint. But still, that just means you guys are such a solid team. Is there anything you want to say, like, before we round this out?
Just if you're playing in scrims or a comp lane or anything, just don't be afraid to make a play. That's an issue Xenox has dealt with. I think it's an issue. Oh, actually, that just reminded me. Okay, so there's an issue you can actually deal with. If you're worried about kills, you're going to make a lot less plays because you're going to be more afraid of getting knocked. And this is something Spec had an issue with when we were doing tryouts, and he thought that it was going to be based off kills, so it actually made him play a lot worse, which, you know, technically that doesn't make sense because he's supposed to be a fragger,
Right.
but it made him play way worse than he usually does, until I told him, no, it's nothing about that. So after he realized that and played usually like how he does, like more position based and shit like that, he started getting way more kills than he would if he were looking for kills. So don't look for kills at all. If you're a fragger, don't look for kills. Just don't do it. If you're like pushing the only time you should look for kills is if you're pushing someone, like in a compound or whatever. You just take the 1v1 and make sure you win. But other than that, just don't do it. Please play your position. And don't fight outside of blue zone, dog.
Don't fight outside of blue zone. One day we'll get a full scrim lobby in NA where teams are not dicking around in the blue zone, but we'll see.
That's like the dumbest thing ever. Just don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Thank you for coming on. Oh.
Damn, your timer's right on time, dog.
That was actually a funny thing. That's actually my alarm for me to wake up in the morning to do my coaching for Japan team, but I had it on PM instead of AM.
Nice.
So
good job.
Yeah, actually I missed my first game today, like this morning, because I overslept just a little bit because I had that alarm set wrong, which this is the first time though, so I'm like they're cool. They're not like what the fuck. But
yeah.
Man, okay. So just I may as well mention this really quickly to you. So my team right now, SG8, I think they're trying to like expand their what's the word called, content, and they asked me if there's any like high level players that might be interested in doing like a quick interview, not as long as this, like a 5 to 10 minute interview. And I think they're planning on like posting it on their channel or something, just to get like a broader audience, so to say. And I don't know if you're interested in doing that potentially.
Yeah, cool. Depending on the time, I'm down to do that.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I can teach them something too.
Wait, what was that last part?
Maybe I can teach them something as well.
Oh, it's more basic questions, but
basic. Okay.
Yeah, it's like how did you get started in PUBG? Those type of things, right? But I will say I could tell them like they should definitely feature a clip. If they're gonna interview you, they should feature like some of your highlights. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll let them know that you're down. And yeah, we'll keep in contact. Thank you for coming on this show once again, bro. Already plugged your socials. Is there anyone you want to shout out, or just like anything you want to say real quick?
I mean, we talked about Spec a lot. I'm proud of you, Spec. Good shit in fixing your mistakes, dog. That's about it, though.
That's about it. Okay, man. Good luck in PMPL. And I'm looking forward to seeing that 1v4 eventually on the PMPL stage, right? It'll happen.
Yes, sir. Alright, take it easy, dog.
Alright, peace.
Bye-bye.
Alright, that was the interview with Tensa. Really chill interview. Tensa, super great guy. No lie, when he first came onto the scene, I did not trust him, bro. I was like, this player is too good. And so I think at that time I was recruiting for pre-Confound. This was pre-Carnage on Confound days. It was like me, Iron Sight, and I think I had like maybe one other player at the time that I was like, this is gonna be my roster. But yeah, Tensa has come a fucking long way. So shout outs to Tensa. And yeah, I think that's it. That's it for the interview. Oh shit, I totally forgot. Whatever. It's fine. I'll do it for the next interview with another player. But I was going to do a 1v1 with Tensa as part of the interview stream, just so I could get bodied as a way to close things out. I'll send him a quick DM. Maybe he's still down to do that. Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah, I got an exam to study for. Okay, Tensa says, yeah, with the ending of that interview, he's busy. He's got other stuff to do. So, yeah, he said we can do practice matches sometimes to get your CQC up to speed. Yeah, I definitely need to work for this CQC. All right, so that is it for the interview. Another one coming on Thursday. I'm not going to say who yet. I'll probably make some graphic or get Erwin to help me make a graphic But I might be interviewing 2 players on Thursday, and you definitely don't want to miss it because this guy is really fun to talk to say the least. But thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. And thank you guys for watching me and supporting me on the PMPL cast. I love seeing you guys say like stuff like, oh, Zoo, you know, such a great caster, blah, blah, blah on PMPL. It actually makes me really happy to know I'm doing a good job. Great stream. Lastly, shout out to our content team. And thank you once again, Tensa, even though he's not watching, for him agreeing to this and making this happen. So, all right. Peace. I'll see you guys later. PMPL tomorrow. Make sure you tune in and watch.